Chapter 15-16. Boom! The blazing fist was like a sun in the sky. It was extremely ferocious as it pierced through the layers of space and instantly landed on Wang Long's chest. Crack! With a crisp sound, Wang Long's chest instantly caved in. His ribs were broken, and his flesh was mangled. His face instantly paled, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Swoosh! Ling Xiao was like a golden bolt of lightning. He instantly crossed tens of thousands of meters and appeared in front of Wang Long. He grabbed Wang Long's throat with one hand. I've said it before. You're no match for me at the same level. Ling Xiao said with a smile. His eyes were blazing. Let go of senior brother Wang. Hu Qing instantly broke free from Lord Xian's restraints and flew towards Ling Xiao. His face was frosty as he shouted angrily. Her heart was filled with both shock and anger. She had never imagined that Wang Long would be captured by Ling Xiao without even being able to withstand a single blow. If you don't want him to die, you'd better behave yourself. Ling Xiao said indifferently without even looking at Hu Qing. Bastard! Let me tell you. Let go of senior brother Wang. Otherwise, you'll die when senior brother Lu Yun arrives. Hu Qing glared at Ling Xiao. Lu Yun? I've never heard of him. Ling Xiao exerted a little more force, and Wang Long's face instantly turned red. His eyes were filled with towering rage. You! What do you want? Wang Long said with great effort. Although he was extremely unwilling in his heart, he could only soften up at this moment. Ling Xiao, senior brother Lu Yun is the holy son of the heavenly curse sect. He's a sage-to-be. Do you really want to fight to the death with us? Yuan Fei said coldly as he looked at Ling Xiao. So what if you're the holy son of the heavenly curse sect? I'll kill you if you provoke me. Hand over all the enlightenment fish and saintly sources you have. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Ling Xiao was not afraid of encountering the holy son of the heavenly curse sect in the Void Saint world. He had the perfect sage treasure, the Black Kun sword, and many other trump cards. Even if he could not defeat the holy son, he could just leave the Void Saint world. At most, he would lose a chance to enter the Void Saint world. Alright, don't mess around. We'll hand it over. Hu Qing gritted his teeth. Although they were killed by Ling Xiao, they would not truly die. However, to them, the opportunity to enter the Void Sacred World was extremely precious and they did not want to waste it. Although Wang Long, Hu Qing, Yuan Fei, and Shi Bufan looked at Ling Xiao with anger in their eyes, they still obediently handed over their saintly source and enlightenment fish. This was especially true for Wang Long and Hu Qing. As inner disciples of the heavenly curse sect, when had they ever suffered such a great loss? Their hatred for Ling Xiao had already reached its peak, especially for Wang Long and Hu Qing. They had already decided that once they left this place, they would immediately look for senior brother Lu Yun and have him deal with Ling Xiao. Fellow Taoist Long, we admit defeat. Please be magnanimous and let us go this once. Shi Bufan's eyes flashed as he said indifferently. Let you go. You guys have been finding trouble with me time and time again because you want to chase me out of the Void Sacred World, right? If you want me to let you go, kill yourselves. Ling Xiao sneered coldly. He naturally knew what Shi Bufan and Yuan Fei were up to. Yuan Fei probably bore a grudge against Ling Xiao because of the bet between Aries College and Heavenly Curse College. Shi Bufan's goal was naturally the Chrono Compass and the Chrono Compass. Ling Xiao would naturally not be merciful to his enemies. Although he could not completely kill Yuan Fei and Shi Bufan in the Void Sacred World, chasing them out of the Void Sacred World would definitely make them feel even more heartbroken. Long Outyen, I have already handed over the saintly source and enlightenment fish to you. What else do you want? You should know that it is better to leave some room for negotiation in the future. If you chase us out of the Void Sacred World, do you believe that you will not be able to continue cultivating in the Void Sacred World? Yuan Fei's eyes turned cold as he said coldly. Are you threatening me? That's right. Your physical bodies are in the space-time college. If I kill you just like that, I will be letting you off too easily. Thank you for your reminder. I will not kill you. On the contrary, I will let you stay here until the day we leave the void's sacred world. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, but his eyes were extremely cold. Big brother, why are you talking so much nonsense with them? Just kill them all. Yi Yangchen sneered coldly. Since you are not willing to commit suicide, I will fulfill your wish. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a sharp light. His palm was engulfed in golden light and a terrifying divine force erupted. He directly broke Wang Long's neck. Boom! Ling Xiao punched out. Wang Long's physical body was directly blasted apart by his punch, turning into a bloody mist that permeated the void. Long Outyen, how dare you! Hu Qing screamed. Her eyes were about to spit fire. She had not expected Ling Xiao to really kill Wang Long. Let's go. Shi Bufan took a deep look at Ling Xiao and crushed a resplendent crystal in his hand. Resplendent runes spread out and enveloped him, Yuan Fei, and Hu Qing. They turned into a stream of light and instantly disappeared into the void. Is that a teleportation stone? Master, I did not expect them to have a treasure like the teleportation stone. The 4 tiger, leopard, jackal, and wolf brothers had already surrounded the area. They were ready to kill Shi Bufan, Yuan Fei, and Hu Qing in one fell swoop to take revenge. After all, although they had submitted to Ling Xiao, they were still a tyrant in the Void Saint world. When had they ever suffered such a loss? However, they did not expect Shi Bufan to crush the teleportation stone before they could make a move. It's okay. I knew they had a backup plan. However, I believe they do not have many teleportation stones with them. The next time we see them, we'll just kill them all. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. When he saw Shi Bufan's calm expression, he knew that Shi Bufan had something to rely on. He originally thought that Shi Bufan was relying on the time compass, but he did not expect it to be the teleportation stone. The teleportation stone was a treasure in the Void Saint world. It could directly teleport people tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of miles away. It was a life-saving item. Yi Yangchen smiled and picked up Wang Long's silver holy badge. These were all treasures. Not only could they be exchanged for sacred source, they could also be exchanged for many treasures in the Void Saint world. Junior sister Xian Wang, your Zhou Tian mirror is really special. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Without the Zhou Tian mirror, he would not have been able to capture or even kill Wang Long so easily. All of this was because the Zhou Tian mirror had suppressed Wang Long's cultivation to the heavenly god realm. This is only one of the uses of the Zhou Tian mirror. I still need to study the specific uses myself. Chapter 15-17. Who is this kid? How can he be so powerful? Isn't that right? Wang Long and Hu Qing are inner disciples of the Heavenly Curse sect. I heard that a holy son of the Heavenly Curse sect has come to the Void Saint world. If the Holy Sun knows about this kid will definitely die. That's right. He's still young and impetuous. So what if he has a flawless holy treasure? The true disciples of the Heavenly Curse sect also have flawless holy treasures, let alone the Holy Sun. Rumor has it that he's already in the Sage-to-Be realm and is about to break through to the Sage-to-Be realm. Let's stay away from them. If the Holy Son of the Heavenly Curse sect, Lu Yun, knows about this, we might be in trouble. The people in the Enlightenment Sea were discussing animatedly. Their eyes were filled with fear. Even if there were people who wanted to buy Long Outyen's enlightenment fish, they did not dare to do so. They were all afraid of losing their lives. Let's leave this place and take a look at the holy steel. Ling Xiao did not care about the gazes of the people around him. He was ready to leave the Enlightenment Sea. Anyway, he had already devoured a lot of the chaotic laws in the Enlightenment Sea. Even most of the Enlightenment fish were caught by him. There was no point in staying here any longer. On the contrary, Ling Xiao was still interested in the holy steel. Great! Ha ha ha! Young master, the enlightenment fish is very precious. If these bastards don't want to buy it, there are plenty of people who will. Let's go to the holy steel to sell the enlightenment fish." Li Hu laughed and said. Tiger, leopard, jackal, and wolf felt that following this young master was really satisfying. Although they were usually tyrannical, they didn't dare to offend the disciples of the heavenly curse sect. Today, Ling Xiao killed Wang Long for them, which made them feel very grateful and happy. The last bit of resistance in their hearts dissipated. They began to seriously work for Ling Xiao. Thus, Ling Xiao gained 4 more lackeys. This is part of the White Tiger's Heaven Ferocious Palm and the White Tiger's secret skill. You're all in the complete heavenly god realm, but you're too weak. You can't even defeat Wang Long and Hu Qing. It's embarrassing. Cultivate well. Next time, I don't want to do it myself. Ling Xiao glared at the tiger, leopard, jackal, and wolf brothers. He then passed a mysterious scripture to the 4 brothers. The Disha 72 secret arts required a corresponding bloodline to be able to unleash its might to the extreme. Ling Xiao had the dragon race's bloodline in him. Hence, he naturally made tremendous progress in cultivating the ancestral dragon secret art. But as for the other secret arts, wanting to cultivate it to perfection was very difficult. Therefore, Ling Xiao could only refer to the true meaning of the great Tao contained in the other secret skills and then choose a secret skill to cultivate. However, the tiger, leopard, jackal, and wolf brothers were all from the white tiger race. To them, the white tiger secret technique was a supreme scripture, a supreme technique. Thank you, young master, thank you. Don't worry, young master. In the future, whoever you want us to kill, we'll kill them. Whoever dares to go against young master will be our mortal enemy. Li Hu and his brothers were all wild with joy, their eyes filled with incomparable excitement as they hurriedly expressed their loyalty to Ling Xiao. They thought that Ling Xiao would only impart the white tiger secret technique to them after a year. They didn't expect Ling Xiao to impart it to them so quickly. Back then, it was because of the temptation of the white tiger secret technique that they were willing to submit to Ling Xiao. Stop flattering me. Let's go. Ling Xiao chided with a smile as he led the group towards the holy steel. This time, Ling Xiao had obtained a total of dozens of saintly sources from Wang Long and the others. In addition to the enlightenment fish that he had obtained, Ling Xiao had close to 300 saintly sources. This was definitely a huge sum of money. It should be known that one saintly source could allow one to enter some precious secret realms to cultivate. 10 saintly sources could allow one to enter the most powerful secret realms. Ling Xiao wasn't stingy either. Tian Gang, Yap Liangchen, Xian Wang, and the tiger, leopard, jackal, and wolf brothers were all given 30 saintly sources by Ling Xiao for them to cultivate. Breaking through in the void saint world was extremely realistic. It was just that it wouldn't attract the heaven and earth lightning tribulations. Breaking through in the void saint world as much as possible was extremely precious to them. The holy steel was located in a huge valley. There were tens of thousands of ancient inscriptions in the valley. Each of the inscriptions was filled with a strange holy path aura, representing a different path of holy path. These were the inscriptions left behind by the ancient saints. Each of the inscriptions represented a saint. Some had comprehended powerful martial arts from the inscriptions, while others had directly comprehended their own path of holy path. The number of people here wasn't any less than in the Enlightenment Sea. Young master, although the holy steel is extremely famous, the number of holy paths that can be comprehended from it has decreased over the years. However, the most precious ones are the 10 holy steels at the core. The 10 holy steels have an extremely mysterious aura that repels experts of the Sage-to-Be realm and above. However, even experts of the divine path realm can't get close to the aura. Therefore, very few people have been able to get close to the 10 holy steels over the years. Li Hu pointed at the center of the inscriptions and said to Ling Xiao. There were 10 ancient stone steels, each of which was hundreds of feet tall. They were far taller than the surrounding stone steels. However, they were shrouded in a strange chaotic light, which made them look ancient and mysterious. You guys go and sell the enlightenment fish. I'll just take a look. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he nodded his head and said. Tiangang, Yap Liangchen, and Lord Xian were also attracted by the holy steel. Each of the inscriptions contained an extremely mysterious holy path aura. It was even purer than in the Enlightenment Sea. Everyone could find their own corresponding inscriptions to comprehend. The three of them quickly chose their targets and sat down to comprehend. Ling Xiao walked slowly in the holy steel. The holy path aura on the holy steels intertwined as if it contained an extremely mysterious domain. The pressure was extremely terrifying. The deeper he went, the greater the pressure. Brother Long? Suddenly, a voice sounded behind Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao turned around and saw a young man in black slowly opening his eyes in front of an ancient stone stele. His gaze landed on Ling Xiao. Duan Shuelu? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He didn't expect Duan Shuelu to be at the holy stele. Brother Long, did you just enter the Void Saint world? I didn't expect to see you here again. Duan Shuelu smiled faintly. Although his face was still cold and arrogant, his eyes revealed a trace of kindness. The stone stele that Brother Duan has chosen is not simple. Ling Xiao was about to say something when his gaze landed on the stone stele in front of Duan Shuelu. His eyes revealed a trace of surprise. This monolith looked very ancient and mottled. There were strange patterns on it. Looking at it carefully, it seemed like there was a vast starry sky. It also seemed like there was an endless mysterious world. With a thought, all kinds of mysterious phenomena appeared on the monolith. Chapter 15:18. The so-called Heart Saint stele inscription was the inscription left by a saint who became a saint with the Tao of Heart. However, there were very few people who could become a heart saint in the divine realm. Most of them were eminent monks, Vedanta, Bodhisattvas, and Buddhas. After all, it was too difficult to conquer their hearts and become a saint with the Tao of Heart. When Ling Xiao fought with Duan Shuelu, he knew that although Duan Shuelu seemed to be a saber cultivator and had a profound understanding of the saber principle, his foundation was the Tao of Heart. Duan Shuelu chose the Heart Saint stele inscription in the holy stele. It could be seen that Duan Shuelu wanted to become a heart saint. Brother Long, you saw it? That's right. Brother Long's attainment in the Tao of Heart is better than mine. Naturally, you can see that it's the Heart Saint stele inscription. Duan Shuelu smiled faintly. Brother Duan, among the four principles of essence, Qi, spirit and heart, the Tao of Heart Saint is extremely difficult. I'm afraid it's comparable to becoming a saint with the body. I see that Brother Duan is very talented in the saber principle. Why don't you focus on the saber principle instead of the saber principle? Ling Xiao asked curiously. Duan Shuelu nodded and said, Brother Long is right. If I focus on the saber principle, I'm confident that I can become a saint with the saber principle. However, I must take the Tao of Heart Saint. Only then can I save my lover. What do you mean? Ling Xiao's eyes moved and asked calmly. Tao Brother Long, the Heart Saint can open up the heart world, see through everything, and create things from nothing. My lover died to save me, and her true spirit dissipated. I want to use the heart world to condense her true spirit and revive her. Duan Shuelu said calmly, but there was a trace of pain in his eyes. Ling Xiao suddenly thought of the woman in white who was manifested by the Holy Way saber intent of the moon / during the fight with Duan Shuelu. Perhaps she was Duan Shuelu's lover. There must be an unknown past. Brother Duan, the Heart Saint can create things out of nothing, but it seems that he can't revive the dead. Even if he can, he must reach an extremely mysterious realm to do it. It's very difficult. Ling Xiao thought and said. He also had a trace of admiration for Duan Shuelu. Duan Shuelu for his lover. He gave up saber principle and wanted to become a heart saint. His perseverance and infatuation were admirable. No matter how difficult it is. I will do it. Duan Shuelu said seriously. Then why didn't Brother Duan enter Buddhism? As far as I know, Buddhism is the real sacred ancestral court. Why would Dao brother Duan join a small Green Mountain Academy? Ling Xiao asked in surprise. The Green Mountain Institute, also known as the Green Mountain Sect, was merely a regular cultivation sect. Its true strength was perhaps equal to or even weaker than the regular Divine Kingdom. With Duan Shuelio's peerless talent, it would not be difficult for him to join Buddhism. Buddhism? None of those bald donkeys is good. When I reach the top, I will definitely wipe out the million Buddhist sect and kill all of them. When mentioning Buddhism, Duan Shuelio's eyes revealed a trace of deep-seated hatred, and his voice was bone-chilling. Seeing Duan Shuelio's expression, Ling Xiao sighed in his heart. He had guessed that the death of Duan Shuelio's lover was related to Buddhism. Otherwise, Duan Shuelu would not hate Buddhism so much. As for Qingshan Academy, it is the place where my lover and I met and grew up together. Therefore, I will definitely protect Qingshan Academy and not let anyone harm it. Duan Shuelu said seriously. In addition to hatred, there was also a trace of pain in his eyes. Ordinary people would ridicule Duan Shuelu for daydreaming. What was the Million Buddhist Sect? The ancestral court of Buddhism, one of the 12 immortal holy lands, was the origin of all Buddhas. It had even produced a supreme emperor. Its origin was even longer than that of the human tribe. Duan Shuelu wanted to wipe out the ancestral court of Buddhism. Unless he could become an emperor, he might have the strength to wipe out the Million Buddhist Sect. Dao brother Duan is admirable. I hope Dao brother Duan can revive your lover as soon as possible. Ling Xiao said sincerely. Thank you. Dao brother Long, please be careful of Shi Bufan and Yuan Fei. They are up to no good. I'm afraid they will harm you. Duan Shuelu said to Ling Xiao. Thank you for telling me. I will be careful. Ling Xiao nodded and said. Ling Xiao and Duan Shuelu separated. Duan Shuelu continued to meditate in front of the stele of Heart Saint, while Ling Xiao continued to go to the depths of the holy stele. The road of Heart Saint is difficult. Ling Xiao sighed in his heart and thought of the scripture of heart charm he had obtained. The scripture of heart charm was a supreme scripture created by Emperor Taishu. If one wanted to practice the scripture of heart charm, he had to condense the heart realm to practice step by step. Generally, one could only condense the heart realm after becoming a heart saint. Before becoming a heart saint, the strength of those who practiced the heart Tao was not strong. Their heart force was extremely scattered. They were not like Ling Xiao, who had a heart realm at the beginning and could mobilize a large amount of mind power. Therefore, Ling Xiao was luckier than Duan Shuelu. If Duan Shuelu had obtained the scripture of heart charm, he would have broken through to the heart saint realm. However, the scripture of heart charm was passed to Ling Xiao by Emperor Taishu. Ling Xiao had no right to pass it to Duan Shuelu. The method could not be passed easily. As for where Duan Shuelu could go in the future, it depended on his fate. Ling Xiao went to the depths of the holy stele. The powerful holy Wei Qi around him intertwined and the pressure became stronger and stronger. Boom! In front of him was the area where the 10 Saints' stele was. Ling Xiao took a step forward and instantly, a bright light burst out. The power of the 5 elements filled the area. Mountains filled the sky, golden clouds blazed, the sea was vast, and flames burned the sky. All kinds of mysterious scenes appeared in front of him. It was as though Ling Xiao had appeared in a mysterious world. The terrifying power of the 5 elements came crashing down on him, wanting to crush his entire body into dust. It was as if dozens of mountains had appeared on Ling Xiao's body in an instant. The pressure caused his body to tremble and his footsteps to become extremely slow. What a powerful pressure! If my physical body had not reached the limit of the divine path, it would be extremely difficult for me to enter the area where the 10 Saints' stele is. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of shock. His undying war body and divine dragon body had reached the complete realm. In addition, he had used the sky-devouring secret skill. He could continuously devour and destroy the powerful pressure. Even so, Ling Xiao still felt that the pressure was extremely terrifying. It made him feel as if he could not bear it. If an ordinary person came here, he would have been crushed before he could even get close to the 10 saints' steel. Wang! Streaks of chaotic chi filled the area. Each streak of chaotic chi was like an immemorial divine mountain. Terrifying power pressed towards Ling Xiao from all directions. It was chaotic and violent. Rumble. Ling Xiao's body was surrounded by golden clouds and a faint dragon roar sounded. Powerful energy exploded from his body as he walked forward with determination. Regardless of whether it was the mysterious phenomenon around him or the great pressure he was enduring, none of it made him stop a single step, nor did it make them frown. Ling Xiao could feel that the closer he got to the 10 saints' steel, the more excited he became. Chapter 15:19. Boom! It was as though a bolt of lightning had exploded in the air. The strange phenomenon around Ling Xiao disappeared, and he finally got close to the 10 saints' steel. The 10 saints' steels were only a few hundred feet tall, but they gave Ling Xiao the feeling that they were 10 unreachable divine mountains, exuding a terrifying aura. Ling Xiao's gaze landed on the first saint's steel. Boom! Dazzling light exploded in front of his eyes. Blazing sword chi, terrifying saber chi, and chaotic divine metamagnet light all appeared before him. The sacred steel seemed to contain a golden world, representing the purest and most boundless laws of metal. What a powerful metal law origin! Ling Xiao was shocked. The steel represented the origin of the way of metal, one of the 5 elements. It had been left behind by a saint who specialized in the way of metal. That saint's comprehension of the way of metal had reached a level that Ling Xiao could not comprehend. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat, and his gaze landed on the second saint's steel. Boom! The second saint's steel was a green world, and towering ancient trees appeared one after another. It was filled with green and a sea of life, representing the purest wood law origin. The third saint's steel was the water law origin. The fourth saint's steel was the fire law origin. The fifth saint's steel was the earth law origin. The sixth saint's steel was the moon law origin. The seventh saint's steel was the sun law origin. The eighth saint's steel was the time law origin. The seventh saint's steel was the space law origin. As for the 10th saint's steel, it seemed as though nothing existed on it. There was only a mysterious chaotic aura, as though it was the beginning and the end of everything. Everything began with chaos, and everything would end with chaos. The 5 elements, yin and yang, space-time, and chaos. This was the power of the 10 saints' steel, and it instantly attracted Ling Xiao's attention. At the beginning of chaos, there were 2 types of energy, yin and yang. Yin and yang formed the 4 extremes of heaven and earth, and everything in space and time evolved into the power of the 5 elements. The 10 saints' steel at the center of the 10 saints' steel contained the power of the 10 great origins, which represented the 10 most basic origins of heaven and earth. This made Ling Xiao understand something. Just as Ling Xiao was comprehending the 10 saints' steel, the phenomenon on the 10 saints' steel attracted everyone's attention. Someone actually entered the 10 saints' steel. How is this possible? How many years has it been since someone entered the 10 saints' steel? The last time someone entered the 10 saints' steel, it was a holy son from the Fane of Destiny. Who is that person? This is a huge matter that is enough to shake the entire Void Saint world. Everyone's eyes were filled with shock as they tried their best to see who the person in the center of the 10 saints' steel was. However, Ling Xiao's figure was shrouded by the chaotic fog, so no one could clearly see who had entered the 10 saints' steel. Could it be that Brother Long has entered the 10 saints' steel? He really is a genius. Duan Shuelu slowly opened his eyes, and there was a hint of shock in his eyes. He had tried to enter the 10 saints' steel before, but he had failed in the end. In fact, everyone who came to the 10 saints' steel would try to enter the 10 saints' steel and comprehend the saint way true will within, but most of them failed. Everyone who could enter the 10 saints' steel was either a 1 in a million genius or a true disciple of the various immortal sacred grounds. Almost every one of them was destined to become a saint one day. In other words, there was a genius who could become a saint in the 10 saints' steel. How could everyone not be excited and shocked? Ling Xiao did not know about the shock of the people outside. His attention was completely attracted by the Saint Wei imprint within the 10 saints' steel. Metal, wood, water, fire, earth, moon, sun, time, space, but in the end, they would all return to chaos. Rumble. The auras of the 10 saints' steel intertwined, forming a vast and mysterious domain that enveloped Ling Xiao in the center. It contained an extremely terrifying pressure. Ling Xiao had to endure this immense pressure while comprehending the Saint Wei imprint within the 10 saints' steel. Buzz. The wordless heavenly book buzzed and trembled, as if it was extremely excited. The 10 saints' steel was extremely attractive to the wordless heavenly book. However, Ling Xiao did not release the wordless heavenly book. There were many experts in the void saint world. If someone sensed the aura of the wordless heavenly book, it would be troublesome. The Saint Wei imprint within the 10 saints' steel is too shocking. If I were to comprehend it like this, I might not be able to fully absorb the power of the 10 great origins even after 1,000 years. Why don't I take the 10 great saint steels away? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as he suddenly had an idea. Ling Xiao was ready to give it a try. The 10,000 saints' steel was actually one with the void saint world and was extremely difficult to take away. Otherwise, the 10,000 saints' steel would have been emptied long ago. However, Ling Xiao wanted to give it a try. As long as he could remove the 10 great saint steels, he would not have to worry at all. The wordless heavenly book would probably devour the 10 great saint steels until nothing was left. Ling Xiao stood up and walked in front of the first saint steel. This saint steel contained the metal Tao origin, and the phenomenon was extremely shocking. It was as if millions of divine lights were shooting towards Ling Xiao, wanting to turn him into a sieve. Ling Xiao calmed himself down and grabbed the saint steel with both hands. Then, a terrifying divine power exploded from his body. Rise! Ling Xiao roared as the golden light around him shone brightly. The roars of dragons and tigers shook the void. His arms were like the roots of an old tree as he grabbed the saint steel tightly and lifted it up. Rumble. The sacred steel began to tremble violently and emitted a dazzling divine light. Terrifying divine light shot out from it and shot towards Ling Xiao. It was as if the Saint Wei imprint within the saint steel had been angered by Ling Xiao. This saint steel actually drew a terrifying attack on its own and shot towards Ling Xiao. Clang! 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 When the light landed on Ling Xiao, the sound of metal clashing rang out. It was as if the light had hit a piece of metal. Furthermore, a golden vortex spread out around Ling Xiao. It could be said that he did not reject any of the light that came his way. He devoured all of the light from the sacred monument. Quick, look! What is that fellow doing? He wants to remove the saint steel. Suddenly, someone exclaimed. His eyes were filled with disbelief and he stuttered as he spoke. Amidst the chaotic fog, a dazzling golden figure was hugging a sacred steel, trying to pull it out. Everyone was stunned. The scene in front of them was too inconceivable. Someone actually had designs on the 10 saints' steel. It was not that no one had ever targeted the saint steel in the past and wanted to bring it out of the void saint world. However, the saint steel was one with the void saint world. Not to mention that there was no way to bring it out of the void saint world, even a sage-to-be expert could not pull it out. As for the saints, they might be able to pull it out. However, the saint steel was useless to them. Naturally, they would not destroy the 10,000 saints' steel. Chapter 1520. Don't you think that guy's brain is damaged? He wants to pull out the 10 saints' steel. He must be out of his mind. Isn't that so? So what if he pulls out the 10 saints' steel? He can't bring it out. Sigh. I thought I met another exceptional genius. I didn't expect him to be a crazy guy. Look, this guy has angered the 10 saints' steel. He might be killed by the steel's power. Everyone was discussing animatedly, and they all began to mock and ridicule him. Their eyes were filled with gloating expressions. They were already unhappy that they couldn't enter the 10 Saints' stele. When they saw Ling Xiao enter the 10 Saints' stele, they were envious and jealous. Now that they finally found a good opportunity to vent their jealousy and dissatisfaction, they wouldn't miss it. Rumble. The 10 Saints' stele was a single entity. When Ling Xiao tried to pull it out, the 10 Saints' stele resisted. Terrifying holy way aura intertwined and rays of divine light spread out. The 5 elements power, spacetime power, yin-yang power, and chaotic energy all pressed towards Ling Xiao. The wind and clouds surged and the clouds moved. Terrifying divine light lingered in all directions. It contained a power that made one's heart tremble. Ling Xiao was drowned in the chaotic light. The power of the 10 Saints' stele surged towards Ling Xiao's body. It was as if it wanted to tear him into pieces. Devour. A sharp light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He did not cower in the face of the terrifying power of the 10 Saints' stele. He immediately used the power of the sky-devouring secret skill and turned into a dazzling golden vortex. Terrifying power surged wildly into his body, strengthening his body that had already reached its limits. Although the Saint's stele was shaking, it was firmly rooted in the ground. It was as if it had become one with the void Saint world. Ling Xiao couldn't pull it out with his strength. Heart world, open. Ling Xiao's eyes flickered, and streams of chaotic light spread out. A vast heart realm appeared around him, enveloping the Saint's stele. Ling Xiao used his heart world to isolate the power of the wordless heavenly book. He didn't let the power of the wordless heavenly book leak out. Rumble. The wordless heavenly book emitted a dazzling light, and an incomparably vast and mysterious aura poured into Ling Xiao's body. Ling Xiao's aura began to soar, and his body was filled with boundless energy. Mysterious runes shot out from Ling Xiao's palm and merged with the Saint tablet. Crack. Resplendent lightning exploded, and this time, the holy stele trembled violently. It was actually directly pulled out by Ling Xiao. The Saint's stele, which was hundreds of feet tall, contained extremely terrifying power fluctuations. It was like an ancient divine mountain. Vast saintly way imprints gushed out, covering everything. Whoosh! The space between Ling Xiao's eyebrows glowed, and numerous chains of order shot out, directly wrapping around the holy stele. Then, it was sucked into Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness and swallowed by the wordless heavenly tome. The first sage tablet was pulled out by Ling Xiao. What? Everyone was dumbfounded. I'm not dreaming, am I? The Saint's stele was actually pulled out by that brat. How is this possible? Someone mumbled to himself, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. However, they could clearly see that one of the 10 Saints' stele was missing, and now, only the 9 Saints' stele was left. How did he do it? Everyone's hearts were filled with doubts, and they could not believe what they were seeing. Fellow Taoist Long, you always do something shocking every time. This is going to be big. Duan Shuelu said with a wry smile. What is junior brother Long doing? Could it be that he really wants to empty the myriad Saints' stele? Tiangang also widened his eyes and said. I think he's going to take all 4 secret realms. King Xian said with a faint smile. She also thought of the incomparably violent and chaotic power of law in the Enlightenment Sea, which was almost completely devoured by Ling Xiao. After destroying the Enlightenment Sea, he was now going to destroy the Holy Stele. Big Brother is really Big Brother. He is really fierce. Yap Liangchen's eyes were filled with admiration. In the 10 Saints' stele, Ling Xiao walked towards the second sage tablet. Rumble. Due to the loss of one of the sage steles, the entire Void Saint world seemed to have sensed it. The void rumbled, and blazing lightning flashed. Moreover, the remaining 9 sage steles were still emitting terrifying energy fluctuations, wanting to destroy Ling Xiao completely. However, Ling Xiao had the sky-devouring secret skill and the wordless heavenly book to protect him. He was determined to pull out the 10 Saint stele. Therefore, he did not care about the commotion in the Void Saint world, and directly started to pull out the second sage tablet. This kid is a talent. However, isn't he afraid that he will only benefit others? You have to know that many sacred grounds are eyeing the 10 saints' steel. I'm afraid the commotion here will alarm them very soon. Someone said with a wry smile, and his eyes were filled with admiration. Move aside. Suddenly, a cold voice rang out, and a commotion broke out in the crowd. Everyone subconsciously opened up a path for a few powerful figures to walk in. They were a few young men and women in Taoist robes. Their auras were powerful, and their cultivation was unfathomable. They were all divine kings, and they looked very arrogant. Someone actually pulled out the 10 saints' steel. The young man in the lead trembled, and his eyes were filled with shock. It's already the 5th 5 elemental saint steel. Who exactly is that kid? However, the 5 elemental saint steel is extremely useful to us. If we can obtain it, we will definitely be able to step into the sage-to-be realm very quickly. The young men and women's eyes were filled with an unconcealable passion. They are the inner disciples of the 5 elemental saint sect. Someone exclaimed softly, recognizing the identity of these young men and women. It seems like they are eyeing the 10 saint steel as well. It seems like that kid is going to benefit others. Someone said slowly, looking at Ling Xiao sympathetically. In the realm of the gods, the 12 immortal sacred grounds were the strongest forces, and the disciples of the 12 immortal sacred grounds were a cut above the rest. Countless people feared and respected them. The disciples of the 5 elemental saint sect had their eyes on the 10 saint steel, especially the 5 elemental saint steel. Even if that kid painstakingly pulled it out, he would have no choice but to hand it over. Rumble. The area in the center was filled with dazzling light and chaotic fog. Ling Xiao ignored it and pulled out all the 10 saint steels. He then sent them into his glabella, and the wordless heavenly book devoured them. I wonder what kind of surprise the wordless heavenly book will bring me after it devours the 10 saint steel. Ling Xiao thought to himself as a look of anticipation appeared in his eyes. Chapter 1521. Rumble. The 10 saints' steel was completely devoured by the wordless heaven book. The area around the saints' steel seemed to undergo some strange changes. With Ling Xiao as the center, endless chaotic qi surged. It interweaved with an extremely violent pressure and pressed down on Ling Xiao. Asterisk crackle. Asterisk golden vital energy and blood surged around Ling Xiao as his bones trembled. Strands of chaotic qi surged into his body, melting into his muscles, bones, and marrow, causing his aura to become even denser. A gleam of light flashed through Ling Xiao's eyes. He circulated the power of the heaven-devouring secret technique and began to devour the chaotic qi in the surroundings. His body underwent a strange change as well, as if it was turning into a chaotic color. His body became tougher and tougher, filled with explosive power. This is the chaotic energy left behind after I pulled out the 10 saints' steel. This energy can actually increase the strength of my body. There was a look of understanding in Ling Xiao's eyes. The chaotic energy of the 10 essences could be refined and absorbed by the heaven-devouring secret technique. At the same time, it strengthened Ling Xiao's body. His indestructible body and divine dragon body actually showed signs of merging. This can be called the chaotic body refinement. If I have enough chaotic energy, I might be able to strengthen my body to an unimaginable level. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Boom! After Ling Xiao devoured all the chaotic energy in the surroundings, he walked out from the center of the saint's steel. The 10 saints' steel was the most important part of the saint's steel. Now that Ling Xiao had obtained it, the saint's steel was useless to him. You, come here. A young man with scarlet hair among the disciples of the 5 elements saint sect said coldly as he stared at Ling Xiao. His eyes were like divine lamps as they emitted scarlet flames. Clearly, he was the leader of the disciples of the 5 elements saint sect. He was also a great perfection god king and radiated with a powerful presence. He was an expert who cultivated the laws of fire. Brat, senior brother Wang Yan asked you to come over. What are you dawdling for? Hurry up and come over. A disciple of the 5 elements saint sect beside the young man scolded Ling Xiao. His voice was filled with unquestionable arrogance and coldness. Who are you people? Ling Xiao frowned and said indifferently. However, looking at the clothes of these people, he could roughly guess that they were probably the disciples of the Five Elements Saint sect. They probably had their eyes on the 10 Saints' steel in his hands. We are disciples of the Five Elements Saint sect. Brat, our senior brother Wang Yan is interested in the 10 Saints' steel in your hands. Here are 10 Saint sources. Hand over the 10 Saints' steel. A young man in black sneered and threw 10 saintly sources at Ling Xiao's feet. It's your fortune that our senior brother Wang Yan is interested in your 10 Saints' steel. Why aren't you kneeling down and offering it to him? A young lady in green said with a face full of arrogance. Their auras were extremely powerful, and they vaguely formed an encirclement formation that surrounded Ling Xiao. You want to trade for the 10 Saint steel with just 10 Saint sources? I think you guys are delusional. Tian Gang sneered as he stood beside Ling Xiao. He, Yi Liangchen, and King Xian were alerted by the commotion and rushed over. That's right. Trash like you guys dare to have designs on the 10 Saints steel. If you don't want to die, scram. Yi Liangchen said coldly. They were completely enraged. These disciples of the Five Elements Saint sect were too arrogant. Wanting to trade for the 10 Saints steel with just 10 saintly sources. What was the difference between this and robbery? Brat, I advise you not to refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. It's your fortune that our senior brother Wang Yan is interested in the 10 Saints steel. Don't be so shameless. You guys are just a few disciples of the Aries College. I think you guys are tired of living. The young man in black sneered. He could tell the background of Ling Xiao and the rest from their clothes. He did not care about the disciples of the Aries College at all. Senior brother Wang Yan, why are you talking so much nonsense with them? Just snatch them over. I think this brat is quite handsome. I like him. Hee hee. The young lady in green's gaze landed on Ling Xiao. Her eyes were filled with charm. Ha ha ha. Junior sister is right. This girl is not bad. She's mine. It was a burly man whose body was like an iron tank. His entire body exuded a mysterious yellow aura. His blood was monstrous, and his muscles were filled with explosive power. His face was ferocious, and he looked at the Xian King with a burning gaze. Are you done? If you are, come at me together. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His eyes were blazing as he took the initiative to move forward. What? Wang Yan, the young man in black, the young lady in green, and the rest were stunned. Then, they were enraged. Their eyes were filled with cold killing intent. This young man in front of them was too arrogant. He was just a great circle heavenly god. How dare he say that he wanted to fight them? He was courting death. Senior brother Wang Yan, this brat is courting death. I'll help you capture him. The man who looked like an iron tank sneered and walked towards Ling Xiao. His body was filled with the aura of the heaven and earth. He looked extremely terrifying. His cultivation had reached the late divine king realm. When he walked over, he looked like a moving mountain. Li Hu, capture him alive. Wang Yan said indifferently. Hee hee, senior brother Wang Yan, don't worry. I promise I won't kill this brat. Li Hu smiled ferociously. He was about 10 feet tall, and his body seemed to be made of metal. At first glance, one could tell that he was an elite who had cultivated his body to the extreme. He raised his large hand, which was like a cattail leaf fan, and slammed it down toward Ling Xiao. Dong! Ling Xiao looked calm as if he did not see Li Hu. He took a step forward and the heaven and earth emitted a strange fluctuation. Faint chaotic chi spread out from his body, causing his aura to change drastically. It formed a mysterious resonance with the heaven and earth, forming a majestic aura that shook people's hearts. Boom! Ling Xiao threw a punch forward. Li Hu, who was still sneering, suddenly changed his expression. Ling Xiao's punch did not use any martial arts. It was just the strength of his body. However, Li Hu felt as if the heaven and earth were pressing down on him. Break! Li Hu immediately stopped underestimating Ling Xiao and no longer held back. Terrifying energy erupted from his body. His punch became even more ferocious, as if it was going to cover the heaven and earth and smash everything into dust. Boom! A thunderous sound was heard. When the fist and the palm collided, there was a dazzling light and a mysterious resonance. Chapter 15:22. What? The expressions of the 5 elements sacred sect's disciples changed. Li Hu cultivated the Heavenly Queen Earth technique, which was one of the strongest body-refining techniques of the 5 elements sacred sect. In terms of physical strength, they were no match for Li Hu. They never thought that this kid, who was only at the heavenly god realm, would have such a terrifying physical body. He was able to push Li Hu back with a single punch. Junior brother Long's physical body has become stronger. Tiangong's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. He could feel that Ling Zhao's physical strength had improved again compared to when he was in the academy tournament. Moreover, there was an ancient and heavy aura around him. He was invincible inside and out. Kid, you're courting death. Li Hu roared angrily and stretched out both his arms. Like 2 raging dragons, they stirred up the void in all directions and blasted towards Ling Xiao. The physical body that he relied on the most was actually inferior to a kid at the heavenly god realm. He immediately felt humiliated. You have brute force but don't know how to use it. But even if it's brute force, you're still inferior to me. Ling Xiao said plainly. A divine rainbow flashed under his feet, and he instantly soared into the sky. Chaotic chi filled the air around him, and an unparalleled divine power bloomed. It made him feel as if the entire world was in his palm. Crack! Ling Xiao clenched his fist and the void exploded. A chaotic fist mark collided with Li Hu and landed on his arms. A crisp sound rang out as Li Hu's arms were instantly broken. Blood spurted out from his arms. Following that, Ling Xiao kicked out like a raging dragon, directly landing a kick on Li Hu's chest that was wide open. Boom! Mysterious yellow runes instantly spread out from Li Hu's chest, forming an extremely powerful defensive force. This was the power of the Heavenly Queen Earth technique, which gave Li Hu an unparalleled defense. Ling Zhao's kick actually didn't leave a bloody hole in Li Hu's chest. Mysterious yellow runes exploded one after another, neutralizing the power of Ling Zhao's kick. However, that unparalleled divine power still kicked Li Hu down from the sky, ruthlessly smashing him into the ground. Bang! 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 Li Hu jumped up from the ground like a carp. At the same time, the ground shook violently. Streams of Xianhuang qi spread out from the ground and rushed into Li Hu's body. His physical body recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. Even the 2 arms that were broken by Ling Xiao began to recover. Brat, did you use some kind of secret technique? I want to see how long you can last. As long as I stand on the ground, no one can kill me, ha ha ha. Li Hu's gaze was as sharp as a knife as he stared at Ling Xiao. He did not believe that Ling Xiao could defeat him with just his physical strength, so he thought that Ling Xiao must have used some kind of secret technique that consumed his life force. Once the effects of the secret technique wore off, he would definitely torture Ling Xiao. As long as you're standing on the ground, no one can kill you. I really want to give it a try. Ling Xiao's eyes shone with an unparalleled sharpness. He suddenly clenched his fist and dazzling chaotic lightning burst out around him. Then, he swooped down from the sky and threw a punch at Li Hu. Ever since he pulled out the 10 Saints steel and swallowed a large amount of chaotic energy, his physical body seemed to have undergone an incomparably mysterious change. Perhaps the strength of his physical body did not increase by much, but his understanding of strength had deepened. If it was said that his previous punch could deal 50% of the damage, the other 50% would be wasted. But now, his punch could deal 100% of the damage. Every bit of strength was perfectly grasped by him. This kind of strength that could be used as he pleased made him want to fight urgently. And this Li Hu was the best target for that. Boom! Faced with Ling Xiao's terrifying punch, Li Hu finally learned to be smart. He did not dare to take it head-on. Xianhuang qi spread around him and he instantly disappeared in front of Ling Xiao. In the next moment, Li Hu actually appeared behind Ling Xiao out of thin air and chopped at Ling Xiao's neck with his palm. Using the power of the earth to teleport. This imperial earth-back technique is indeed mysterious. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He did not feel any spatial fluctuations, only streams of Xianhuang qi flowing around him. This was a power that could only be unleashed when one's comprehension of the laws of earth had reached the extreme. It was similar to Yin Tiansong's 5 elements heaven escape technique. However, Ling Xiao did not dodge. Instead, he prepared to take Li Hu's attack head-on. Clang! Li Hu's eyes were filled with ruthless killing intent. His blade chopped at Ling Xiao's neck, but suddenly, the sound of metal clashing rang out. Sparks flew in all directions, and an incomparably powerful rebound force seemed to come from Ling Xiao's body, causing Li Hu's arm to feel a little numb in an instant. How is this possible? Li Hu exclaimed. He did not dare to believe that Ling Xiao's physical body was actually so terrifying. His palm chop with all his strength actually did not even leave a white mark on Ling Xiao's neck. It's my turn now. Ling Xiao turned around and smiled faintly. A bad premonition surged in Li Hu's heart. He instantly wanted to retreat, but it was already too late. Ling Xiao grabbed Li Hu's arm like a pair of pliers, making it impossible for Li Hu to break free. In the next moment, Ling Xiao's other hand turned into a fist that was suffused with chaotic luster and suddenly blasted on Li Hu's chest. Boom! 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 The terrifying fist exploded on Li Hu's chest. Before he could unleash a powerful defensive force to block Ling Xiao's fist, Ling Xiao's next fist arrived. In an instant, hundreds of fists landed on Li Hu's chest, and those powerful Xianhuang runes exploded one after another. Kacha! Even with Li Hu's strong physical body, he was unable to withstand Ling Xiao's terrifying attack. His chest instantly caved in, and his bones were broken. Blood splattered everywhere. The intense pain made Li Hu unable to help but roar in anger. Whoosh! Ling Xiao brought Li Hu up into the sky. At this moment, Li Hu did not seem to have the slightest resistance in Ling Xiao's hands. An even more terrifying aura erupted from Ling Xiao's body. Li Hu had completely become Ling Xiao's living target. Fists constantly landed on his body, and soon, his body was badly mutilated. He did not even look human anymore. This guy. How can he have such a terrifying physical strength? Did he not use his full strength just now? Everyone was shocked. Li Hu, who was in the Divine King realm, was actually crushed by a heavenly god realm brat. It made them feel like the scene in front of them was extremely surreal. Chapter 1523. Who was Li Hu? He was an inner disciple of the 5 Elements Saint sect. He was born with godly strength and cultivated the heavenly earth technique. His physical body was unparalleled and was 1 realm higher than Ling Xiao. However, he was being suppressed by Ling Xiao without any resistance. While everyone was shocked, they became more and more curious about Ling Xiao. This kid is incredible. Looks like Ares College is going to have another peerless genius. That's right. A heavenly god can suppress a divine king. This kind of talent is too terrifying. I'm afraid this kid has cultivated the indestructible battle body of Ares College. How can the indestructible battle body defeat the heavenly earth technique? It's more likely if it's the indestructible saint technique. This kid must be born with a strong physical body. Everyone exclaimed and their eyes were filled with disbelief. As for the people of the 5 Elements Saint sect, their faces turned ugly. You're courting death. The black-robed young man was the first to lose his patience. His eyes were filled with killing intent. The black ancient sword in his hand flew across the sky and slashed towards Ling Xiao with unparalleled sharpness. Despicable and shameless. Xian Wang's eyes turned cold. She wanted to intervene but was stopped by Tian Gang. Junior Xian Wang, don't worry. I think Junior Brother Long wants to fight alone. Let's wait and see. If he can't win, we'll intervene. Tian Gang said slowly. That's right. Big Brother still has the Xian Kun sword. However, even if he doesn't use the Xian Kun sword, these guys are no match for Big Brother. Yi Liangchen sneered and was full of confidence in Ling Xiao. Swoosh. The green-robed young lady also made her move. There was a long green whip in her hand. It was like a vine that flew across the sky and wrapped around Ling Xiao's hands. Although Wang Yan did not make a move, the sharpness in his eyes became more intense. It was like a burning flame. Swoosh! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed and he kicked Li Hu away. Then, he bent down and slammed his palm towards the black-robed young man. The monstrous palm print contained incomparably violent energy. The black-robed young man's face changed. He knew that at this moment, he could feel the terrifying pressure from Ling Xiao. It was enough to suffocate him. However, he did not retreat. The ancient black sword in his hand was incomparably sharp, piercing towards Ling Xiao's palm. Faint holy light permeated the air as if it could pierce through everything. This was a half-saint artifact. He believed that no matter how strong Ling Xiao's body was, it was impossible for him to resist the power of a half-saint artifact. Whoosh! At the same time, the girl in green was extremely fast. The green whip in her hand was like a python, coiling towards Ling Xiao's arm. Rumble! A sharp light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes, and his other hand suddenly grabbed the green whip. Bright runes bloomed in his palm, and crackling sounds could be heard. Then, he suddenly shook it, and the green whip trembled violently. It was actually not under the control of the girl in green, and it swept towards the black-robed youth. Clang! The cyan whip and the black sword collided, emitting the sound of metal clashing. Sparks flew in all directions, and Ling Xiao's palm landed on the black sword. In an instant, tens of thousands of resplendent rays of light blossomed. What? The black-robed youth's expression changed. He only felt the long sword in his hand tremble violently. An unparalleled divine power attacked him, causing his arm to tremble violently. He was unable to hold the long sword firmly, and the long sword flew out of his hand. You guys come and accompany Li Hu. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. The green whip in his hand suddenly shook, directly grabbing the girl in green. His other hand slammed down on the black-robed young man's arm, causing him to stagger. His arm was instantly broken, and blood spurted from his mouth. Whoosh! 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 The girl in green's eyes turned cold, and the whip in her hand suddenly exploded, turning into countless green needles that shot towards Ling Xiao's body. This change was extremely vicious, and it was extremely close. Even Ling Xiao did not expect this change. Puff! Puff! The sound of the needles piercing into flesh could be heard. Even if Ling Xiao's body was extremely strong, he could not completely block those green needles. Instantly, he became like a hedgehog, and countless green needles appeared around his body. Moreover, a mysterious poison began to spread throughout Ling Xiao's body, causing his body to stiffen in an instant. Brat, you'd better surrender obediently. The girl in green sneered. Her eyes revealed a trace of a scheming expression. Her 10,000 mammoth whip was already at the peak of perfection. It could turn into countless forms of attack, and it was often impossible to guard against. At the beginning, she used the cyan whip to paralyze Ling Xiao, and then at the critical moment, she attacked and hit Ling Xiao instantly. Moreover, the 10,000 mammoth whip contained a powerful poison that could paralyze a person's entire body. Even an expert in the Divine King realm could not neutralize it, and could only be slaughtered obediently. The girl in green flew towards Ling Xiao, and her slender hand turned into a palm knife, slashing towards Ling Xiao's neck. She wanted to knock Ling Xiao unconscious and capture him directly. Really? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a hint of a smile that was not a smile. He looked incomparably calm, without a trace of panic. Oh no. The girl's face changed. She sensed a dangerous presence about to erupt, so she immediately retreated without even thinking about it. Rumble. A terrifying aura erupted from Ling Xiao's body. Golden light radiated from his body, and a mysterious qi and blood surged into the sky. The dense green needles around him were actually forced out of his body. Ling Xiao extended his hand and directly grabbed the girl's ankle. Afterwards, he swung it violently, and a strange bolt of lightning seemed to shoot out from Ling Xiao's hand. It made the girl tremble as if she had been struck by lightning, causing her eyes to roll back. The girl's 10,000 mammoth whip was extremely wondrous. Even Ling Xiao had been caught off guard. However, even though the needles seemed to have pierced Ling Xiao's body, they were actually caught by his muscles. Even the terrifying poison had been completely devoured by the heaven-devouring secret technique. However, the girl did not think of this at all, so she was caught by Ling Xiao immediately. The girl's ankle was like white jade, smooth and delicate to the touch. Ling Xiao could not help but touch it a few more times. He smiled, although it seems a little fierce, it feels nice to the touch. Why, shameless. The girl in green blushed. Her heart skipped a beat when Ling Xiao touched her ankle. A strange feeling rose in her heart as she yelled at Ling Xiao. She was both embarrassed and angry at the same time. Let go of junior sister Yun. Chapter 1524. Whoosh. He grabbed the black ancient sword and stabbed it towards Ling Xiao. He wanted nothing more than to stab 100 bloody holes in Ling Xiao's body. Ling Xiao's gaze flickered as he grabbed the girl's ankle and swung her towards the black-robed youth. Seeing that the ancient black sword was about to pierce the girl, the black-robed youth jumped in fright. He hurriedly moved the ancient sword away from his hand and cried out in anger. Seeing Ling Xiao toying with the 3 inner disciples of the 5 elements sacred sect in the palm of his hand, everyone's eyes were filled with incomparable astonishment. Wang Yan could no longer hold back. Let them go. A cold voice exploded in the air, containing an unquestionable arrogance and coldness. Wang Yan instantly soared into the sky like a golden sun. In an instant, a resplendent fist pressed down on Ling Xiao. Finally unable to hold back. That's interesting. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Wang Yan's fist finally made him feel pressured. He laughed coldly and directly threw the girl in green out. Without dodging, he also threw a punch at Wang Yan. Crack! A resplendent light exploded like a sun, and a terrifying divine power swept out in all directions. Ling Xiao and Wang Yan both trembled and retreated at the same time. Who are you? Wang Yan stared at Ling Xiao with a solemn expression. He could feel the berserk power within Ling Xiao's body, which made him secretly shocked. Aries College, Long Outyan. Ling Xiao said indifferently. You're Long Outyan? The champion of the astral tournament? Wang Yan's eyes blazed as he stared at Ling Xiao. That's me. Ling Xiao said calmly. Aries College's people are still so arrogant. Since that's the case, I'll teach you a lesson today and let you know what it means to respect the strong. Wang Yan's gaze turned cold as a terrifying divine power rose from his body. A monstrous flame bloomed behind him. He was like a divine king of flames, emitting an insufferably arrogant aura as if he wanted to burn this part of the sky. That'll depend on whether you have the ability. Take this. Ling Xiao smiled coldly. His eyes were as sharp as swords in an instant. He threw a punch across the sky. Unparalleled physical strength erupted from his body. Chaotic light lingered around his fist as it pressed down on Wang Yan. Flames rose from Wang Yan's palm. In an instant, an ancient bird cry resounded through the sky, causing everyone to involuntarily tremble. A 3-legged golden divine bird flew out of the flames, exuding an ancient and ferocious aura as it pounced toward Ling Xiao. 3-legged golden crow. Looks like this Wang Yan cultivates the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. Someone trembled and couldn't help but exclaim. The Great Sun Golden Crow technique was one of the 5 ultimate techniques of the 5 Elements Saint sect. It contained the power of the Grand Tao of Fire. The three-legged golden crow was an ancient divine beast. According to legends, it was a divine bird that was born from the sun. It was born with an innate understanding of the origin of fire, and could burn the heavens and destroy the earth. Have you already comprehended the divine way of fire? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Wang Yan's talent was extraordinary. He had already comprehended the divine way of fire, and there was already a trace of the divine way aura on his body. He was probably not far from breaking through to the sage-to-be realm. Wang Yan was also considered smart. When he first fought with Ling Xiao, he could see that Ling Xiao's physical body was unparalleled. It was far superior to experts of the same level. Therefore, he didn't use his physical strength to fight Ling Xiao head-on. Instead, he used the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. Boom! The surrounding void trembled. Ling Xiao threw a punch and collided with the three-legged golden crow. Immediately, the sky was filled with flowing fire, and it spread toward Ling Xiao's body. The power of the fire was extremely ferocious. It contained the power of the divine way of fire. In an instant, Ling Xiao's body turned red, and he even felt a stinging sensation of being burned. The three-legged golden crow cried, flapped its wings, and pounced toward Ling Xiao. Although it was formed by a martial way super skill, the three-legged golden crow seemed to be real. Its aura was extremely ferocious, and its 3 legs seemed to be cast in gold. It was incomparably fierce, and it kept fighting with Ling Xiao. Boom! After Ling Xiao clashed with the three-legged golden crow, he turned into a golden stream of light and flew backward. The sky was filled with a sea of fire, covering the sky and the sun. It contained an extremely terrifying power, and it spread to Ling Xiao's body, enveloping him. Ling Xiao moved through the sea of fire, and his entire body seemed to have turned into a man of fire. Where do you think you're going? Wang Yan's eyes were like divine lamps as he chased after Ling Xiao. At the same time, a few three-legged golden crows appeared in his palm. They were like dazzling divine suns, and they attacked Ling Xiao from all directions. Is Long Outyan going to lose? This Wang Yan is too terrifying. He comprehended the divine way of fire, and the Great Sun Golden Crow technique can burn the sky and destroy the earth. Even if Long Outyan's physical body is extremely strong, he won't be able to withstand it. That's right. A strong physical body isn't absolutely invincible. The gap between them is too big. After all, Wang Yan is a realm higher than Long Outyan. Sigh. I originally thought that Long Outyan could beat the 5 Elements Saint sect. Everyone said regretfully. People tended to side with the weak, especially when Ling Xiao defeated the 5 Elements Saint sect's Divine King realm disciple as a heavenly god. This made everyone excited, and they naturally stood on Ling Xiao's side. However, the moment Wang Yan attacked, the situation seemed to have changed. Ling Xiao was at a disadvantage, and he was attacked by the three-legged golden crows. He was in imminent danger, and it seemed like he would be killed at any time. Boom! At this moment, Ling Xiao was surrounded by flames. The terrifying flames even surged into his body, causing him to feel intense pain and burn all over his body. However, Ling Xiao's expression was still extremely calm, and he didn't even frown. There was a golden vortex in his body, which devoured the terrifying power of the flame. His aura became somewhat obscure. Wang Yan, thank you for helping me. Ling Xiao laughed coldly. In an instant, a terrifying aura exploded around him, forming a golden devouring vortex with him as the center. Dozens of saint sources exploded in his body at the same time, and they turned into boundless energy that surged into his limbs and bones. Rumble. At this moment, the flames in the sky surged into his body wildly. Ling Xiao was like a whale swallowing the ocean, and he didn't reject any of it. He devoured the vast energy of the flames. His aura also began to surge. What? Wang Yan's expression instantly turned ugly, and he found it hard to believe. Ling Xiao was actually using the flames in the sky to break through to the Divine King realm. Wang Yan also had a bad feeling, as if something that could threaten him would happen after Ling Xiao broke through to the Divine King realm. He had to stop him. Chapter 1525. Rumble. The three-legged golden crow emitted torrential flames. The golden light illuminated the sky. The scorching aura caused the expressions of the spectators to change drastically. They could not help but retreat. Just a slight fluctuation caused the surrounding mountains to melt into magma. The towering ancient trees began to burn. One could imagine what kind of heat Ling Xiao, who was at the center, was enduring. Wang Yan's red hair fluttered in the wind. His eyes were like divine suns. The aura around him surged. An extremely scorching saber light appeared in his palm and slashed towards Ling Xiao. The saber seemed to be able to split the sky, causing the void to tremble violently. Everyone could not help but feel their hearts in their mouths. Even Tiangang, Yap Liangchen, and King Xian's expressions became extremely solemn. If it were not for their confidence in Ling Xiao, they would have attacked him already. Boom! The scorching flames burned the sky. The three-legged golden crow roared. Under the dazzling saber light, everything was reduced to nothingness. Even Ling Xiao's figure had disappeared completely. Is Long Outyan dead? Everyone widened their eyes. They wanted to find a trace of Ling Xiao. However, Ling Xiao had already disappeared from the sea of flames. However, Wang Yan's expression did not relax at all. His gaze became extremely solemn as he looked at the sea of flames in the distance. Rumble. It was as if a huge sun had jumped out of the sea. It emitted an incomparably scorching and resplendent light. A figure emerged from the sea of flames, emitting a monstrous aura. Ling Xiao bathed in the sea of flames. His clothes were whiter than snow. His black hair fluttered in the wind. His aura had become extremely terrifying. He had finally broken through to the Divine King realm. When Wang Yan's saber landed, Ling Xiao had already used a secret teleportation technique. He used the sea of flames to conceal himself and teleported away. What Wang Yan killed was only an afterimage of Ling Xiao. Is this the power of a divine king? Ling Xiao muttered to himself. He stretched out his arms as if he wanted to embrace the sky. The flames around him burned fiercely. However, they could no longer affect him. Long Outyan, it seems like I have underestimated you. However, so what if you have broken through? Even if you break through, you will still die. Wang Yan's gaze was blazing as he stared at Ling Xiao coldly. Wang Yan, I have to thank you for helping me break through. As repayment, I will give you a quick death. Ling Xiao said indifferently. His gaze was incomparably calm. Dong Ling Xiao took a step forward, leaving behind an afterimage in the air. In an instant, he appeared tens of thousands of meters away. The surrounding space trembled violently, like a thunderbolt had exploded. A majestic aura erupted with a bang. It was as if the sound of the Tao was shaking the heavens. Mysterious sound waves spread out as Ling Xiao punched towards Wang Yan. Boom. For resplendent rays of light blossomed. The heaviness of the earth, the turbulence of the water, the sharpness of the wind, and the blazing flames erupted at the same time, condensing into a resplendent chaotic fist that pressed down on Wang Yan. Ling. Earth-shattering. Kill. Wang Yan also let out a furious roar. Flames rose from his body and a blazing saber light slashed towards Ling Xiao. Golden crows rose from all directions. They formed a vast array and pressed down on Ling Xiao. They wanted to refine Ling Xiao. Wang Yan also began to use his full strength. He felt a strong sense of threat from Ling Xiao. Boom! Ling Xiao smashed the saber light with a punch. He then clashed with the blazing flames. The golden crows in the void started to fight fiercely. Ling Xiao and Wang Yan seemed to have unleashed their true power as they engaged in an extremely intense battle. The surrounding mountains began to explode, and blazing magma even gushed out from the mountain ranges. If it wasn't for the mysterious saintly way aura shrouding the area around the holy steel would have been destroyed in the battle between the two. This battle made the blood of the spectators boil, and they were incomparably excited. Asterisk boom. 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 Asterisk Ling Xiao and Wang Yan instantly threw out hundreds of punches. They rushed from the 9 heavens to the ground. The huge mountains exploded. The terrifying scene was like the end of the world. Ling Xiao faced the raging flames in the sky and punched out, breaking through Wang Yan's palms. Then, his fist landed on Wang Yan's arm and directly blew it up. Blood mist filled the air. The sky trembled. You're just a disciple of Ares College. How can you defeat me? Die. Wang Yan's eyes began to turn crazy. With a flash of light in his hand, a broken black saber appeared. He suddenly slashed down at Ling Xiao. This saber contained a vast amount of holy light. Although it was a little damaged, it was a powerful holy treasure. He wanted to kill Ling Xiao directly. Wang Yan was also desperate. He even took out his holy treasure. You're courting death. Ling Xiao's eyes were sharp. A vast amount of holy path aura spread. He held the Xian Kun sword in his hand and slashed at Wang Yan. Asterisk clang. Asterisk the broken saber in Wang Yan's hand couldn't block the Xian Kun sword's attack. It was broken. I'll send you to the afterlife. Ling Xiao said indifferently. The mysterious Kun sword turned into a ray of light and directly cut off Wang Yan's head, killing him instantly. Ling Xiao didn't intend to use the Xian Kun sword. However, Wang Yan was forced to take out his holy treasure. In the end, he still died in Ling Xiao's hands. You killed senior brother Wang Yan. You're dead. You're dead. Li Hu and the other two were scared silly. Their faces were pale as they pointed at Ling Xiao and shouted angrily. If I killed him, then so be it. You guys can go accompany him. Ling Xiao said indifferently. The Xian Kun sword shone brightly. He slashed out 3 times and killed Li Hu and the other two. 5 Elements Sacred Sect. In a secret room, Wang Yan, Li Hu, and the other 3 opened their eyes. Their eyes were filled with anger. Ares College's Long Outyan. He's really courting death. Let junior brother Feng inform my brother that the 10 Saints' steel is in Long Outyan's hands. He must suffer a fate worse than death. Wang Yan's face was a little pale. However, his eyes were filled with hatred. Although he wouldn't really die after being killed in the Void Saint world, his primordial spirit would suffer some damage. This made Wang Yan weak. He would need to rest for a few months. Chapter 1526. After Ling Xiao killed the 4 inner disciples of the 5 Elements Saint sect, everyone at the Holy Steel was in awe of him. Those who wanted to get their hands on the 10 Saints' steel had completely given up on it. Ling Xiao, Tian Gang, Yap Liangchen, and Lord Xian left the Holy Steel. Junior brother Long, the news that you have the 10 Saints' steel will spread throughout the Void Saint world. By then, those sage-to-be experts will attack you. Tian Gang's eyes revealed a trace of seriousness. Although holy treasures could threaten Divine King Realm experts, the threat of holy treasures wasn't that strong for half-saints. Following this, Ling Xiao was bound to fall into an extremely dangerous situation. After all, the 10 Saints' steel was too important. Many sage-to-be experts wanted to get their hands on it, but they did not have the chance. Now that the 10 Saints' steel was in Ling Xiao's hands, those people would definitely come to find trouble with him. Senior brother, let's split into 2 groups. You guys will continue to the Sky Thunder platform and the Blazing Mountain. These silver holy badges will be enough for you guys to cultivate for a while. I'm going to search for the hidden treasures. It will be safer for me to move alone. Ling Xiao said after thinking for a while. He was definitely not a match for a sage-to-be expert, but Ling Xiao was not willing to leave the Void Saint world just like that. Hence, he decided to move alone. Alright. You have to be careful. Heavenly Dipper nodded. He also knew that this was probably the best outcome. Ling Xiao was a small target, and the possibility of being discovered was even smaller. Master, you can go to the Immortal Dragon Lake to take a look. It's said that there should be a mystery land there, but many people are unable to enter. Perhaps you can cultivate in the immortal dragon lake for a while. Tiger, leopard, jackal, and wolf suddenly thought of something and said to Ling Xiao. Immortal dragon lake? Alright, I'll go take a look. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. From the name, could the immortal dragon lake be related to the dragon tribe? If it was related to the dragon tribe's mystery land, it might be a good place for Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao bid farewell to Tian Gang and the rest and went on his journey alone. After breaking through to the Divine King realm, Ling Xiao's strength had undergone a qualitative change. His physical body had also become increasingly tough. Moreover, the breakthrough in the Void Saint world, other than the absence of the lightning calamity, felt extremely real. After returning to the real world, it would be much easier for Ling Xiao to break through again. Ling Xiao headed towards the immortal dragon lake. He flew past one mountain after another. The Void Sacred world was incomparably vast. The mountains were majestic, and ancient trees towered into the sky. Everywhere was exuding a barbaric and ancient aura, as if it was an ancient mythical world. The immortal dragon lake was located in the center of this mountain range. The three mountains were tens of thousands of meters tall, forming the shape of the Chinese character. They were like three winding dragons connected head to tail, emitting an imperious and majestic aura. In the center of the vast valley, the immortal dragon lake covered an area of a few thousand miles. Looking down from above, it looked like a huge dragon head with a pearl in its mouth and a faint mist lingering around it. After Ling Xiao arrived at the immortal dragon lake, he realized that the surrounding white mist was not simple. It seemed to contain a mysterious array that could deceive one's senses and consciousness, causing one to feel dizzy and disoriented. Unknowingly, one would walk in an unfamiliar direction. What a strange immortal dragon lake. There's the aura of the dragon tribe here. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He could feel the aura of the dragon tribe in the immortal dragon lake, further confirming his guess. Perhaps there really is a secret realm left behind by the dragon tribe's sage in the immortal dragon lake. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as he prepared to enter the immortal dragon lake to investigate. Rumble. Suddenly, a towering ancient tree in the distance collapsed. The ground shook violently, and an extremely ferocious aura rapidly approached. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed and he was stunned. A little girl who looked like she was carved out of jade was running towards Ling Xiao with a panicked look on her face. Behind her was a black python that was hundreds of feet long. It raised its ferocious snake head, and there was a large sarcoma on its head. It spat out its tongue as it chased after the little girl. The black python emitted a strong fishy smell. Whether it was the towering ancient tree or the huge mountain rocks in front of it, they were all turned into dust. It charged forward violently, its eyes scarlet and cruel as it stared at the little girl in front of it. The little girl saw Ling Xiao in an instant, and her beautiful big eyes were filled with joy. She hurriedly opened her arms and ran towards Ling Xiao. As she ran, she shouted, "Big brother, save me! This big long worm wants to eat me!" Whoosh! The little girl was extremely fast. Like a stream of light, she ran behind Ling Xiao in an instant and hugged his thigh with a pitiful look on her face. Her big eyes were very beautiful, and her long eyelashes fluttered, revealing a sly look. As she hugged Ling Xiao's thigh, she secretly glanced at the black python that was charging over. "Okay. Wait for Big Brother to kill it for you." Ling Xiao smiled. Although the little girl's origin seemed strange, Ling Xiao felt an inexplicable sense of closeness to her. He patted her little head and his eyes fell on the black python. Hiss! The black python's aura was very strong, comparable to a divine king expert. However, it seemed to have sensed that Ling Xiao was not to be trifled with. It stopped in front of Ling Xiao and spat out its tongue. Its eyes were scarlet red. "Brat, hand over the little girl, or I'll eat you." The black python spoke in human language and stared at Ling Xiao fiercely. "Oh. You know how to speak human language? But with me here, you won't be able to eat her." If you know what's good for you, you'd better get lost. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. The black python in front of him seemed to have an ancient aura. It should be a wild variant with the bloodline of some ancient divine beast. Therefore, it looked extremely ferocious. Those who stand in my way will die. The black python let out a furious roar and instantly opened its bloody mouth to swallow Ling Xiao. Boom! A golden light flashed under Ling Xiao's feet. He carried the little girl with one hand and punched out with the other. The golden fist print was dazzling and it directly hit the black python's head. The black python seemed to be very agile. It leaped back and dodged Ling Xiao's punch. Its snake tail was like a divine whip, and it was extremely fierce as it lashed at Ling Xiao. Bang! Chapter 1527. Hiss! The black python let out a blood-curdling scream, and its body suddenly froze. However, Ling Xiao took the opportunity to grab its tail, and then violently swung it up. Boom! Ling Xiao swung its tail and smashed it down on the surrounding mountains. Rocks flew everywhere, the mountains shook, and the towering ancient trees were blown to smithereens. However, the surrounding 3 mountains were covered in a layer of mysterious holy light. They were extremely sturdy and could not be destroyed at all. Only some scattered rocks were blown away. Ling Xiao swung the black python and smashed it on the mountains. Soon, the black python was smashed to death. A divine king demonic beast is a pretty good ingredient. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as he kept the black python's corpse. How could this pitiful demonic beast be a match for Ling Xiao? Just like that, it was smashed to death in an extremely miserable manner. Big brother, you're amazing. The little girl's eyes widened, and her eyes were filled with adoration. Little girl, what's your name? Why is this huge snake chasing after you? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he smiled faintly. At this time, he took a good look at the little girl. This little girl looked like she was carved out of jade, like a porcelain doll, and was very cute. She was only 5 or 6 years old, wearing a white dress. Her skin was as white as jade, and her eyes were clear and pure. However, there was a golden holy badge between her brows. Moreover, there were 2 golden horns on her head that were hidden by her black hair. If one did not look closely, they would not be discovered. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. Big brother, my name is Long Xiao Xiao. I found a kind of fruit on the mountainside over there. It looked very delicious, so I picked it and ate it. I didn't expect that the big snake would rush out from the cave next to it and want to eat me. It even chased me all the way here. Long Xiao Xiao said pitifully. So you ate the spiritual fruit that the snake was guarding. No wonder it chased after you. However, it won't be that easy for it to eat you, right? If it eats you, it should be able to awaken the dragon bloodline in its body faster. Ling Xiao looked at Long Xiao Xiao with a faint smile. Big brother, what are you talking about? Why can't I understand? Long Xiao Xiao said innocently, but she unconsciously took a few steps back. There was clearly a trace of fear in her eyes. Long Xiao Xiao, are you from the dragon race? Ling Xiao suddenly said. Ah, not good. We've been discovered. Long Xiao Xiao was startled. She instantly retreated a few dozen meters and looked at Ling Xiao with vigilance. Don't worry, I'm also considered half a dragon. Ling Xiao couldn't help but laugh inwardly when he saw Long Xiao Xiao's reaction. His blood and chi surged as a dragon's roar resounded behind him. At the same time, rays of rainbow divine light spread out. At this moment, Ling Xiao's aura became dignified and ancient. His dragon's might was vast, as though a divine dragon had awakened. You are a half-dragon? Wait, how can your dragon bloodline be so pure? He has actually reached the 7-star divine dragon bloodline. Long Xiao Xiao stared at Ling Xiao curiously. There's nothing strange about it. My father is from the human race and my mother is from the dragon race. Therefore, I have an ordinary dragon bloodline. You're not wrong to say that I'm a half-dragon. However, this is obviously the realm of the gods and not the demon realm. How did you appear here? Ling Xiao said slowly. He then looked at Long Xiao suspiciously. I snuck out from home. Big brother, can you let me follow you? I heard that there are treasures in the immortal dragon lake. Why don't we go look for them? Long Xiao felt the dragon bloodline in Ling Xiao's body and immediately let down her guard. She ran over and hugged Ling Xiao's leg as she said coquettishly. Follow me. Then you have to listen to me and don't run around. Ling Xiao was a little helpless, but he still agreed in the end. Long Xiao's identity wasn't simple. She looked like she was only 5 or 6 years old, but she was already in the heavenly god realm. Moreover, there was a golden holy badge between her eyebrows. Moreover, even Ling Xiao couldn't tell what level of bloodline she had. This made him even more suspicious. However, since she was from the dragon race, Ling Xiao couldn't just leave her in the lurch. Moreover, Long Xiao looked mischievous and very cute. Big brother, don't worry. Xiao will definitely be obedient. Long Xiao nodded vigorously as her eyes were filled with incomparable excitement. She had been hiding in the void sacred world for so many days. Now that she finally had a big brother who looked very strong to protect her, Long Xiao was very happy. Ling Xiao brought Long Xiao into the immortal dragon lake. The immortal dragon lake was very quiet and secluded. The lake water was bone-piercing cold, as if it could freeze one's heart. The cold air was very heavy. Ling Xiao activated the divine power in his body and avoided the surrounding lake water, forming a barrier around him and Long Xiao to protect them in the center. Then, they went into the immortal dragon lake together. Inside the immortal dragon lake, there were ripples. The lake water was very clear and there were strange aquatic plants growing in the water. There were also some underground mountains. The cold air was very heavy. Even a divine king expert would find it hard to endure. If Ling Xiao's physical body wasn't strong enough to withstand the cold air, he probably wouldn't have been able to endure for long. Long Xiao, on the other hand, was looking around curiously. Big brother, I feel the aura of the origin source sacred herb. It's in that direction. Long Xiao's eyes suddenly lit up as she pointed in the direction of the bottom of the lake. Origin source sacred herb. Are you sure? Ling Xiao's body shook as his eyes revealed a trace of incomparable seriousness. The origin source sacred herbs in the divine world were all very spiritual. They had obtained the essence of heaven and earth and contained the power of the great Tao origin. They were incomparably mysterious. Just like the 7 demons gourd that Ling Xiao saw in the lower world, it was also a type of origin source sacred herb. In the end, it allowed Ling Xiao's 7 disciples to reincarnate and was incomparably precious. I'm sure that it might be the golden dragon grass. Not only can it improve the dragon clan's bloodline, but it can also strengthen the physical body. It's very precious. Big brother, let's go quickly. That golden dragon grass is very cunning. If we're late, it will escape. Long Xiao hurriedly urged as she couldn't wait. Alright, let's go and take a look. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he instantly turned into a ray of light and shot in the direction that Long Xiao pointed. Chapter 1528. It really is the golden dragon grass. Long Xiao's big eyes were filled with excitement. Ling Xiao took a deep breath and used the heaven-shrouding secret technique to conceal his aura. He then carefully sneaked towards the golden dragon grass. Buzz! The golden dragon grass trembled slightly as if it had sensed that something was wrong. It was extremely vigilant. It directly turned into a golden light and flew into the distance at an extremely fast speed. What an alert golden dragon grass! Ling Xiao was a little surprised. He did not expect that even the heaven-shrouding secret technique could not hide from the golden dragon grass. However, he did not give up. He turned into a streamer and used the teleportation secret technique to chase after the golden dragon grass. This golden dragon grass is too cunning. It did not let us catch it obediently. Big brother, when we catch it, we must smack its butt. Long Xiao Xiao was angry and her eyes were filled with disappointment. "Don't worry, I will catch it." Ling Xiao smiled faintly. How could a mere origin source Saint Herb escape from his grasp? Swoosh! Ling Xiao used the teleportation secret technique to chase after the golden dragon grass. He was like a golden divine light. In an instant, he was very close to the golden dragon grass. The golden dragon grass seemed to have sensed the threat and became somewhat anxious. A huge mountain range at the bottom of a lake appeared in front of them. The golden dragon grass instantly plunged into the mountain range and disappeared without a trace. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He found that the golden dragon grass had entered a cave. The cave was extremely deep and there was a faint golden light coming from it. Ling Xiao only hesitated for a moment before he carried Long Xiao Xiao into the cave and chased after the golden dragon grass. Logically speaking, the golden dragon grass would be like a turtle in a jar if it entered the cave. It would be caught by Ling Xiao in the end. However, the golden dragon grass should not be so stupid. It could only mean that there was something else in the cave. Ling Xiao walked 100 miles into the depths of the cave. The light in front of him became brighter and brighter. Moreover, there was a very strange chanting sound that was ancient and mysterious. Boom! Ling Xiao took a step forward and instantly entered a world of incomparably bright light. It was an extremely strange space. Golden light lingered and the light was dazzling. It was as if there were huge stars orbiting around it. It was as if they had come to the depths of the starry sky. In front of Ling Xiao and Long Xiao Xiao, there was a huge golden dragon that was tens of thousands of feet long. It looked lifelike with sharp dragon scales, majestic dragon aura, dragon claws, and a bright pearl at the dragon's mouth. It was like a bright moon hanging in the sky. Could this be a dragon saint? Ling Xiao's eyes widened, and his expression turned solemn. Golden dragon grass. With the golden dragon grass was circling the golden dragon grass. And stared at Ling Xiao and Long Xiao Xiao. The golden dragon exuded an aura of eternity. It was vast and unparalleled, as if it had fused with the surrounding space. Ling Xiao could instantly sense that the golden dragon was definitely an expert at the level of a dragon saint. Big brother, this is indeed the corpse of a dragon saint, and only the corpse of a dragon saint can give birth to a sacred herb like the golden dragon grass. Long Xiao Xiao said slowly with a low voice. After all, this was a dragon saint. Now that he was buried in the immortal dragon lake and couldn't return to the dragon tribe, Long Xiao Xiao felt sad. How did this dragon saint die? Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with doubt. He carefully examined the golden dragon grass dragon but didn't find any wounds on its body. It didn't look like it was killed. The golden dragon grass seemed to have calmed down. It lay on the dragon's head and emitted a layer of faint golden light. Buzz! At this moment, the resplendent stars in the surroundings suddenly lit up. The strange light gathered together, forming a series of blurry scenes that looked extremely mysterious. In the end, they landed on the golden colossal dragon's body, blazing with unparalleled intensity. Ling Xiao suddenly realized that the golden dragon grass dragon was different. The aura around it was ancient and mysterious. It started to emit a strange vitality as if it was coming alive. Roar! An ancient dragon roar resounded in the void. The surrounding void trembled violently. The golden dragon grass dragon also started to tremble. An aura that made people tremble spread out. The golden dragon grass dragon was really coming alive. Not good. Ling Xiao's face changed. He wanted to carry Long Xiao Xiao and leave this place without thinking. Boom! However, the cave they came from had completely disappeared. Resplendent light gathered and formed a dazzling galaxy that enveloped Ling Xiao and Long Xiao Xiao. Roar! Another dragon roar resounded. The golden dragon grass dragon slowly opened its eyes. The pair of eyes seemed to be cast in gold. It contained a majestic, ancient, and profound light. It instantly landed on Ling Xiao and Long Xiao Xiao. Ling Xiao felt that he couldn't move his body at all. The mysterious and vast power enveloped him, causing the surrounding sky to tremble slightly. Big brother, are you okay? Long Xiaoxiao's eyes were filled with worry. She didn't seem to be bound by anything, but she seemed to be panicking. Boom! The golden colossal dragon slowly raised its head. Its huge head was held high as if it was a divine dragon from the ninth heaven overlooking an ant. It had a supreme and mighty aura. It stared at Long Xiaoxiao just like that. Long Xiaoxiao also stared at the golden dragon grass dragon curiously. It was as if the scene between the dragon and the human had frozen. The golden dragon grass dragon was extremely close to Long Xiaoxiao. Even its golden dragon whiskers were hanging in front of Long Xiaoxiao. It swayed with the wind, ethereal and mysterious. Long Xiaoxiao hesitated for a moment. Then, she grabbed the dragon whiskers and begged, "Senior Dragon, can you let Big Brother go? He's a good person. He's also a member of our dragon clan." As soon as Long Xiaoxiao finished speaking, the golden dragon grass dragon's eyes landed on Ling Xiao. Rumble. In an instant, the blood qi around Ling Xiao began to boil. A seven-colored divine light spread out. The shadow of a seven-colored divine dragon appeared behind Ling Xiao. It was ancient and mysterious. The golden dragon grass dragon blinked its eyes. Ling Xiao felt the restraints on his body disappear instantly. He regained control of his body. The vast power of the golden dragon grass dragon was terrifying. Junior Ling Xiao greets Senior. Ling Xiao cupped his hands and bowed to the golden dragon grass dragon. This is the aura of destiny. So they have already chosen you. The golden dragon grass dragon let out an incomparably cryptic syllable. Its golden eyes revealed a strange look. Rumble. In the next moment, a huge golden dragon claw emitting a monstrous dragon aura slammed down on Ling Xiao. Chapter 1529. Rumble. The starry sky in all directions trembled violently as large stars rotated, emitting flickering lights. A huge golden dragon claw covered the sky as it slammed towards Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, but he didn't resist at all, allowing the golden dragon claw to land on him. He didn't feel any malice from the golden dragon, and with the terrifying power of the golden dragon, even if he resisted, it would be meaningless. There seemed to be mysterious runes in the golden dragon claw that shot towards Ling Xiao's forehead. In an instant, the wordless heavenly book in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness shone brightly as if it had been activated by some kind of power. It actually floated out of Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness. The wordless heavenly book was surrounded by a chaotic aura, looking ancient and mysterious. It buzzed and vibrated, emitting a mysterious sound that resonated with heaven and earth. It really is the wordless heavenly book. A complicated look appeared in the golden dragon's eyes as it slowly spoke. Senior, you recognize the wordless heavenly book? Ling Xiao's eyes moved as he looked at the golden dragon and asked. And the sentence that the golden dragon just said, although it was a little cryptic, it made Ling Xiao's heart tremble as if he had thought of something. The golden dragon didn't directly answer Ling Xiao's question. Instead, he said indifferently, "Kid, the wordless heavenly book is unpredictable. You're on your own. However, seeing that you have half of the dragon clan's bloodline, I'll give you a piece of advice. Since you've already been tainted by karma, try your best to obtain the 2 secret techniques of fate and karma from the 12 sky arts before you become a saint. Perhaps you can even offset a great calamity." Secret techniques of fate and karma. Great calamity. Senior, what do you mean? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of seriousness as he spoke slowly. You can't say it, you can't say it. If you say it, I'm afraid your karma will be even stronger. By then, no one will be able to save you. You just need to remember my words. The golden colossal dragon shook its head with a hint of pity in its eyes. Senior Dragon, please save Big Brother. If it weren't for him, Xiao Xiao would have been taken away by the bad guys. Big Brother is a good person. It was unknown when Long Xiao Xiao had climbed onto the golden dragon's head, and she was even grabbing onto the golden dragon's golden beard and swinging it around with a pitiful look on her face. Ling Xiao couldn't help but feel warm in his heart. He smiled at Long Xiao Xiao and said, "Xiao Xiao, don't make things difficult for Senior. Don't worry, Big Brother won't die so easily." At this moment, Ling Xiao could tell that the golden dragon in front of him was actually just a remnant soul and not its original body. Although its origins were extremely mysterious, it was probably powerless against Ling Xiao at this moment. Ling Xiao recalled the Emperor Lord's words. Combined with what the giant golden dragon had said, it seemed that the wordless heavenly book was indeed not simple. Even until now, Ling Xiao had not completely mastered the wordless heavenly book of Chu. However, Ling Xiao was not afraid of anything because of this. He was a person who had died once. Although the wordless heavenly book had helped him a lot, it was more important that he had a firm and unyielding heart. Even if the road ahead was difficult and dangerous, he was confident that he could overcome all obstacles and press forward. "Your name is Long Xiao Xiao." Not bad at all. You actually have that old fellow's bloodline. Since you've asked, I'll give this kid a good fortune." The giant golden dragon stared at Long Xiao Xiao with a trace of surprise in its golden eyes. What surprised Ling Xiao was that the giant golden dragon actually didn't reject Long Xiao Xiao and agreed to it. Roar! An ancient and mysterious dragon roar shook the sky. The giant golden dragon instantly soared into the sky. Its enormous body wandered in the starry river, emitting an incomparably majestic dragon's aura. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly. It was as if an incomparably mysterious painting had appeared before his eyes. Numerous divine dragons surrounded by a faint chaotic aura made various postures. Some soared in the sky, some churned in the sea, some spat flames, some controlled lightning. The painting before him actually had over 10,000 divine dragons. Moreover, every divine dragon was extremely majestic and lifelike. They emitted a monstrous dragon's aura as if they were describing some kind of profound mystery. Streaks of chaotic mist filled the air, and dazzling lightning flashed. Ling Xiao's attention was completely attracted by the mysterious painting before him. He began to sink into a mysterious state of enlightenment. "Senior Dragon, what's wrong with Big Brother?" Long Xiao Xiao's eyes revealed a puzzled expression. She saw Ling Xiao sitting in the middle of the starry river. Chaotic mist filled the air as if a mysterious scene had appeared before him, but she couldn't see it clearly. At this moment, the giant golden dragon seemed to have suffered a great loss of vitality. It looked a little weak, and the golden light around it had dimmed. "He's fine. Xiao Xiao, let's not disturb him. If he can comprehend this chaotic 10,000 dragons painting, he might be able to obtain some fortune. Everything will depend on his comprehension ability." The giant golden dragon said weakly. "Senior Dragon, who exactly are you? I feel that the aura on your body is very familiar, but I've never seen you before." Long Xiao Xiao tilted her head and blinked her large eyes with a curious expression. "Xiao Xiao, you can call me Yuan." The giant golden dragon smiled and said in a very amiable manner. "Yuan? What a strange name." Long Xiao Xiao said. "Xiao Xiao, follow me. I'll give you a great fortune." The giant golden dragon Yuan smiled indifferently and then disappeared from the starry sky with Long Xiao Xiao, arriving at an ancient land. In front of the giant golden dragon was an ancient blood pool. Mysterious blood flowed within it, sparkling and translucent like amber, emitting a mysterious light. "Xiao Xiao, this origin dragon blood pool is very beneficial to you. Refine it well and it will allow the bloodline in your body to awaken faster," Yuan said to Long Xiao Xiao. Looking at the origin dragon blood pool in front of her, Long Xiao Xiao couldn't take her eyes off it. There seemed to be a kind of desire in her heart that made her impatient to enter the pool. However, she resisted that impulse and looked at Yuan and asked, "Grandpa Yuan, can you let Big Brother enter the origin dragon blood pool to cultivate as well?" Yuan was stunned for a moment, then he scolded with a smile, Xiao Xiao, do you know that if other members of the dragon clan saw the origin dragon blood pool, they would have gone crazy with excitement. You actually want to let that kid cultivate in the pool? Grandpa Yuan, Big Brother is a good person. Moreover, he can be considered a member of our dragon clan. Xiao Xiao likes him very much. Long Xiao Xiao said with some embarrassment. Xiao Xiao, you don't have to worry about him. This origin dragon blood pool is useless to him, but it's very useful to you. Alright, quickly go in and cultivate. Chapter 1530. Rumble. After Long Xiao Xiao entered the origin dragon blood pool, it seemed as if the pool was boiling. Blazing blood flowed, as if a layer of transparent flame had appeared. An incomparably majestic energy was born and rushed into Long Xiao Xiao's body. Long Xiao Xiao's body emitted a resplendent radiance as strands of 9-colored radiance spread out. She instantly turned into a divine dragon emitting 9-colored radiance. She was only 3 meters long as she swam in the origin dragon blood pool, constantly devouring the energy within. The dragon race. Perhaps there is still hope. Yuan's eyes revealed a trace of vicissitudes as his body became fainter and fainter. In the end, he turned into a golden stream of light and shot into the origin dragon blood pool. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the middle of the galaxy for an unknown amount of time. His entire being seemed to be attracted by the mysterious painting in front of him. The birth and death of a chaotic world and the roar of 10,000 dragons seemed to emit an immortal fluctuation. This was the chaotic 10,000 dragons portrait and also the opportunity that Yuan left for Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao felt a mysterious aura of the Saint Tao from the chaotic 10,000 dragons portrait. The surrounding sky trembled slightly as the 10,000 dragons seemed to be explaining the various paths of the Saint Tao to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's body emitted a flickering light as strands of chaotic qi flowed. His body was crystal clear and every particle on his body seemed to have turned into a small world. The mysterious chaotic light split heaven and earth and gave birth to gods, making Ling Xiao seem to have turned into a vast and boundless universe. Although the chaotic qi in his body was weak, it was incomparably pure and constantly nourished his body. Moreover, it formed a mysterious connection with the chaotic 10,000 dragons portrait before him. Chaotic. Physical body, a trace of enlightenment appeared in Ling Xiao's heart as he slowly opened his eyes. Whoosh! 2 rays of chaotic light bloomed from Ling Xiao's eyes and the chaotic 10,000 dragons portrait before him suddenly shattered like a mirror. Dragon roars shook the sky and turned into countless streaks of light in an instant. They quickly shot into Ling Xiao's body, causing him to exude an immortal and mysterious aura. So it turns out that the chaotic 10,000 dragons portrait actually contains the secret of attaining sainthood through the fleshly body. This favor is too great. Ling Xiao muttered softly to himself as a trace of emotion appeared in his eyes. When he first started to comprehend the chaotic 10,000 dragons portrait, he started to comprehend from the Saint Tao paths of the 10,000 divine dragons. But later on, he realized that all paths led to the same destination. All Saint Taos returned to chaos, and the 10,000 divine dragons flowed together like the meridians of a human body. They converged together to form a chaotic scroll that was eternal and eternal. Only then did Ling Xiao realize that the chaotic 10,000 dragons portrait was actually explaining the ultimate mystery of the physical sanctification to Ling Xiao. In the divine world, although it was difficult to achieve the divine body ascension realm, it wasn't too difficult for some genius experts. However, it was extremely difficult to achieve the divine body ascension realm. In the myriad of worlds, for hundreds of millions of years, only 1 in 10,000 could achieve the divine body ascension realm. It was simply too difficult to achieve. It was far more difficult than achieving the divine body ascension realm through laws, divine soul ascension realm, and even heart ascension realm. Although Ling Xiao's physical body was strong and he had cultivated both the immortal war body and divine dragon body to the great perfection realm, he still had no clue about the divine king realm experts with his physical strength. Even the stronger ancestral dragon body didn't record the method of divine body ascension realm. In order to cultivate the ancestral dragon body, one had to achieve the divine body ascension realm. When Ling Xiao was in the Myriad Saint Steel's forest, his physical body was unintentionally tempered by the law of primal chaos when he pulled out the 10 Saint Steel. This allowed Ling Xiao to see the possibility of primal chaos body refinement realm. This time, when he entered the deity Dragon Lake, the chaotic 10,000 dragons portrait that Yuan gave him allowed Ling Xiao to comprehend the secret of the divine body ascension realm. Primal chaos. This was the secret of the divine body ascension realm. In order to achieve the divine body ascension realm, one had to comprehend the relationship between the physical body and primal chaos. The most fearful thing on the path of martial arts was not having a direction. Now that he had a direction, it was the greatest fortune for Ling Xiao. Rumble. Ling Xiao stood up from the center of the galaxy. His body was shrouded in golden light and his vital energy permeated the air. The resplendent stars around him were trembling violently. Like a celestial emperor waking up from a deep slumber, the terrifying aura that Ling Xiao emitted shook the galaxy. Although Ling Xiao's cultivation and strength did not increase at all from comprehending the chaotic 10,000 dragons portrait this time, it was like a baptism for him. It allowed him to see the ultimate secrets of attaining sainthood through the body. Senior, thank you for your generous gift. Ling Xiao bowed deeply to the surrounding starry sky and said seriously. However, Ling Xiao didn't receive any response. It was as if the giant golden dragon's aura had completely disappeared from the starry sky. Big brother, you're finally awake. At this moment, an extremely surprised voice sounded. Long Xiao Xiao turned into a stream of light and arrived in front of Ling Xiao in an instant. Xiao Xiao, your cultivation base. Ling Xiao was suddenly stunned. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Long Xiaoxiao's cultivation base had crossed an entire realm. She had broken through from the Great Perfection Heavenly God realm to the Great Perfection Divine King realm. How long had it been? If others knew the speed of Long Xiaoxiao's improvement, their eyeballs would probably pop out. The only person who could compare to Long Xiaoxiao was probably the Xian King, Ji Feishuan. However, Ji Feishuan's situation was special. Ling Xiao was a little confused. Long Xiaoxiao's huge change was probably because of the giant golden dragon. Big brother, I'm amazing, right? Grandpa Yuan let me cultivate in the origin dragon blood pool. I didn't expect my cultivation base to break through so quickly. However, Grandpa Yuan has already disappeared. I don't know where he went. Long Xiaoxiao said happily. However, when she mentioned Yuan, her mood became a little gloomy. Don't worry. Grandpa Yuan has only left temporarily. We'll see him again in the future. Ling Xiao comforted her softly. Yuan was just a remnant soul. This time, he had left the chaotic 10,000 dragons portrait for Ling Xiao and brought Long Xiaoxiao into the origin dragon blood pool to cultivate. The remnant soul's energy had probably been exhausted. However, Ling Xiao didn't know if Yuan's original body was still alive. If it was, they should have the chance to meet again in the future. However, the name Yuan was very interesting. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a thoughtful expression. Big brother, we've already stayed here for more than 2 months. Let's go. Long Xiaoxiao said to Ling Xiao. She had come out of seclusion a few days earlier than Ling Xiao and was already bored. Alright, let's go. Chapter 1531. Ling Xiao and Long Xiaoxiao followed the passage and arrived at the bottom of the immortal dragon lake. Perhaps it was because of the disappearance of Yuan's remnant soul, the water of the immortal dragon lake had become ordinary. The bone-piercing chill had disappeared. Xiao, where did the golden dragon grass go? Ling Xiao suddenly thought of the golden dragon grass and asked curiously. Golden dragon grass. Hee, big brother, what do you think this is? Long Xiaoxiao mischievously smiled. With a flash of light, the golden dragon grass appeared in her palm. Its entire body seemed to be made of gold. It looked like a small golden dragon that was constantly struggling. However, there was a mysterious rune in Long Xiaoxiao's palm that was confining it. There was no way for it to escape. It turned out that Yuan had given the golden dragon grass to Long Xiaoxiao. Big brother, I'll give you the golden dragon grass. It contains the origin of strength. It's very beneficial for your physical body cultivation. Long Xiao Xiao handed the golden dragon grass to Ling Xiao as if she was presenting a treasure. Xiao Xiao, this is what Senior Yuan left for you. You can keep it for yourself. Ling Xiao smiled and refused. Big brother, the golden dragon grass is really useless to me. I have plenty of it in my house. You don't have to be so polite. Long Xiao Xiao waved her hand and said. You have plenty of golden dragon grass. Ah. All right. Ling Xiao smiled bitterly. However, he still accepted it in the end. The golden dragon grass was very useful to him. However, Long Xiao Xiao's words were a blow to him. This was the origin of sacred medicine. It was an extremely precious treasure even in the immortal sacred grounds. However, Long Xiao Xiao said that she had plenty of it in her house. It seemed like the dragon clan was really rich. Ling Xiao even wondered if it was time for him to make a trip to the dragon clan. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Suddenly, he sensed a few figures approaching at an extremely fast speed. Their auras were extremely powerful. Ha ha ha. I finally sensed the aura of the golden dragon grass. An excited laughter was heard. The few figures arrived in front of Ling Xiao in an instant. They were 3 young men in white robes. Each of them looked valiant and vigorous. Their bodies were as strong as dragons. Their bodies emitted an extremely powerful aura. The young man in white robes at the very center seemed refined. His eyes were deep and calm. Although he was only an early god king, he seemed to be the leader of the 3. The 2 great divine kings beside him were extremely respectful to him. Yuan Fei. Long Outyan. Ling Xiao and the white-robed young man looked at each other. Both of their eyes revealed a trace of surprise. Ling Xiao did not think that he would actually meet Yuan Fei again at the Immortal Dragon Lake. To be able to meet twice in such a big place like the Void Sacred World, it seemed that their fate was not ordinary. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed coldly. Now that he had met Yuan Fei, he couldn't let him escape. Brat, hand over the golden dragon grass in your hand. The eyes of the 2 white-robed young men beside Yuan Fei were filled with passion as they berated Ling Xiao. You want the golden dragon grass? Then give me your life in exchange. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, his eyes revealing a trace of coldness. The disciples of the Heavenly Curse sect were really lingering around. Senior brothers, he is Long Outyan. However, he has a flawless holy treasure in his hand. You have to be careful. Yuan Fei said to the 2 white-robed young men slowly. A flawless holy treasure. The eyes of the 2 white-robed young men lit up even more. They even revealed a trace of greed. Big brother, they are all bad guys. Xiao Xiao doesn't like them. Long Xiao Xiao said crisply as she glared at Yuan Fei and the other 2. Although she purposely looked fierce, she was extremely cute. Xiao Xiao, don't worry. Big brother loves to deal with bad guys. I will kill them all later. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. One of the white-robed young men could not help but laugh coldly. You are Long Outyan. The people from the Spacetime Heavenly Sect and 5 Elements Saint Sect are looking for you. I didn't expect you to be hiding here. However, so what if you have a flawless holy treasure? Junior brother Yuan, this guy has a lot of treasures on him. The 10 Saints' steel is also in his hands. Later, you will block his flawless holy treasure and we will capture him. Whether it is the golden dragon grass, the flawless holy treasure or the 10 Saints' steel, they will all be ours. Yuan Fei thought for a moment, then nodded and said, all right. Senior brothers, be careful. Long Outyan is not simple. He is just an early divine king. He can't overturn the heavens. The 2 white-robed young men sneered. Terrifying auras rose from their bodies and divine force gushed out. One on the left and one on the right, they pounced towards Ling Xiao at the same time. Buzz! A small cauldron that was emitting 5-colored light flew out from between Yuan Fei's eyebrows. Holy qi gushed out from it. It was also a flawless holy treasure. The small cauldron floated in front of Yuan Fei and trembled slightly. It did not immediately attack Ling Xiao. Instead, it stood guard and deterred Ling Xiao from taking out the Xian Kun sword. Ling Xiao's eyes were calm and there was no sign of him taking out the Xian Kun sword. Dealing with 2 inner sect disciples of the Heavenly Curse sect was not enough for him to take out the Xian Kun sword. Boom! Divine light flashed under Ling Xiao's feet and he instantly turned into a golden lightning and shot out. Then, he threw out a punch towards the 2 white-robed young men. The fist print swept across the sky and was surrounded by mysterious chaotic light. Unparalleled divine force burst out like a chaotic divine mountain that wanted to shatter everything into dust. The 2 white-robed young men felt the terrifying power contained in this punch, and their faces changed slightly. They even activated the vast divine power around them and charged towards Ling Xiao. Bang! Dazzling light exploded, and a majestic dragon roar was heard. The 2 white-robed young men felt as if they had hit a mountain. Their bodies trembled violently and they lost the feeling in their arms. The blood in their bodies was in turmoil and they were sent flying backwards. Swoosh! Ling Xiao's speed was extremely fast. His eyes were sharp and he chased after the 2 white-robed young men. A sharp palm blade slashed down and a snow-white blade light pierced through the sky. It was as if he wanted to cut the 2 white-robed young men in half. Damn it! The 2 white-robed young men were shocked and angry. They did not expect Ling Xiao's combat strength to be so terrifying. The 2 of them were at a disadvantage even though they had joined forces. Light flashed in the palm of one of the white-robed young men. A silver war spear surrounded by dazzling light was activated by him. It was like a silver snake that shot towards Ling Xiao's eyebrows. Chapter 1532. Roar! A golden divine light exploded behind Ling Xiao, accompanied by a majestic dragon roar, and a terrifying aura burst forth. Ling Xiao's body shook, and he directly shattered all the talisman markings that covered the sky. After that, he grabbed the silver spear with a flip of his hand and tossed it towards the white-robed young man. Boom! Ling Xiao, on the other hand, followed by the silver spear. His aura was like that of a dragon as he punched out. The white-robed young man's divine power rose as he hurriedly caught the silver spear. Ling Xiao's punch had already arrived in front of him and landed on the silver spear. Bang! The silver spear was actually bent by Ling Xiao's punch, and the white-robed youth's face changed greatly. He felt an unparalleled divine force coming at him, and his arms were suddenly broken, and his entire body was sent flying. Kill! The other white-robed young man took advantage of this opportunity to attack Ling Xiao from behind. His eyes were burning with murderous intent. A slender sword exuded an unparalleled sharpness as it pierced towards Ling Xiao's head. Whoosh! Ling Xiao seemed to have eyes at the back of his head. He didn't even turn his head. He moved a few feet to the side and avoided the white-robed young man's killing blow. Then, he grabbed the white-robed young man's arm and kicked him. The white-robed young man's expression changed drastically. The divine power contained in Ling Xiao's kick made him unable to resist at all. It landed on his chest directly. Crack! His chest instantly caved in, and all the bones in his body seemed to have exploded. He was sent flying with blood gushing out of his mouth. Big brother, beat them. These bad guys, beat them to death. Long Xiao Xiao hung on Ling Xiao's body like a koala bear. Not only was she not afraid, but her eyes were filled with eagerness as she shouted excitedly. Ling Xiao didn't expect this little girl to have the potential to be a violent madman. Buzz! At this moment, the small cauldron in front of Yuan Fei's forehead moved. It emitted a dazzling divine light as it pressed down on Ling Xiao. The small cauldron was a flawless holy artifact. Ling Xiao didn't expect Yuan Fei to have a flawless holy artifact. Whoosh! Ling Xiao also didn't hesitate to summon the Xian Kun sword. The Xian Kun sword emitted a dazzling light as sword chi rose. It collided with the small cauldron and exploded into a dazzling light. Long Out Yen, I didn't expect you to grow to such a level in such a short time. Today, we admit defeat. How about we stop here? Yuan Fei looked deeply at Ling Xiao and said. Stop here. Do you think that's possible? Ling Xiao sneered, his eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He had already decided that today, he must make Yuan Fei and the other two stay and teach them an unforgettable lesson. Long Out Yen, you may be strong, but we have the Earth Curse Cauldron to protect us. You can't stop us. Yuan Fei said Xiao. The small cauldron in the void shone brightly and emitted streams of yellow and black qi. It clashed with the Xian Kun sword and was not at a disadvantage. Is that so? A cold smile appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes, and he instantly threw a punch at the two white-robed youths. The two white-robed youths had suffered different degrees of injuries. They didn't have flawless holy artifacts to protect them. Ling Xiao planned to kill them first. Long Out Yen, how dare you? The two white-robed youths' faces changed drastically. They didn't dare to continue fighting with Ling Xiao. They quickly retreated and fled in the direction of Yuan Fei. However, Ling Xiao's speed was even faster than theirs. Just as Ling Xiao's fist was about to land on their bodies, boom. At this moment, a bolt of lightning exploded in the void. It was filled with a faint holy path aura and contained an extremely terrifying attack power. It directly dissolved Ling Xiao's punch and pushed him back. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a sharp glint. Instantly, he caught sight of a dazzling flash of lightning in the sky. A young man in black armor with a head full of fluttering hair appeared. His entire body was shrouded in streaks of lightning. His face was cold and haughty, and his eyes were filled with indifference. He stood in the void, and the strange lightning caused the surrounding void to rumble. A half-saint? Ling Xiao's eyes moved. He immediately sensed that the young man in front of him was a half-saint. His powerful holy path aura filled the air. Even Ling Xiao felt an extremely dangerous fluctuation. Greetings, senior brother Qin Yu. Yuan Fei and the two white-robed young men revealed a trace of surprise in their eyes. They bowed to the young man in armor and said. Senior brother Qin Yu, he is Long Out Yen. He has the golden dragon grass, flawless holy artifacts, and the 10 saints steel. Junior brother Wang Long also died in his hands. Senior brother Qin Yu, please avenge us. One of the white-robed youths pointed at Ling Xiao. Long Out Yen. How did you pull out the 10 saints steel when you're just an early divine king? Chen Yu looked at Ling Xiao indifferently. His voice was incomparably cold, and it exuded an unquestionable fluctuation. His voice was like a clap of thunder, shaking the heavens and causing them to hum. Ling Xiao could sense that Qin Yu had just broken through to the half-saint realm. He should only be a first revolution half-saint. However, even so, his strength was far beyond the divine king realm. Moreover, Qin Yu had comprehended the origin of lightning. He walked the path of lightning. His attacks were unparalleled. Naturally, he was even more powerful. Ling Xiao felt an incomparably strong sense of threat from him. I don't think I need to tell you how I pulled out the 10 saints steel. Ling Xiao said indifferently. You're stubborn. I didn't want to bully you, but you killed my junior brother of the Heavenly Curse sect. As their senior brother, I naturally have to avenge them. I'll give you a chance. Hand over the golden dragon grass, flawless holy artifacts, and the 10 saints steel. I'll allow you to take your own life. Qin Yu said indifferently. Allow me to take my own life? Who do you think you are? Ling Xiao sneered. Qin Yu should be a true disciple of the Heavenly Curse sect. He acted so high and mighty as if allowing Ling Xiao to take his own life was a great favor. This is your only chance. If you don't agree, I'll chop off your limbs and throw you into a horde of demonic beasts. At that time, you'll know what it means to beg for death. Believe me. Don't think that you're invincible just because you have a flawless holy artifact. You'll never understand the power of the holy path. Chen Yu's voice was still indifferent. He looked down at Ling Xiao from high above. His eyes were filled with coldness. Cut the crap. I really want to see how strong a half-saint expert is. If you want the golden dragon grass, the mysterious Kuan sword, and the 10 saints steel, let's see if you have the ability to do so. Ling Xiao stared intently at Chen Yu as he spoke. His voice was impassioned and clear, and a vast aura erupted from his body. Chapter 1533. Rumble. The surrounding sky shook. Chen Yu stood in the air. His eyes were like divine lamps, and his expression was indifferent. Bolts of lightning were blazing and dazzling around his body. It was as if a mysterious world of lightning had formed behind him, causing his every move to possess a supreme power. A terrifying aura emanated from his body and pressed down on Ling Xiao. Although Chen Yu was only a first transformation half-saint, he could already mobilize a trace of the origin of lightning. His strength was far beyond the Divine King realm. As long as he could completely comprehend the origin of lightning and condense the holy way of lightning, he would eventually become a lightning saint. He would dominate the great way of lightning and be invincible. Lightning flashed across the sky, making Ling Xiao feel extremely pressured. The flashes of lightning seemed to have a life of their own as they contained a terrifying destructive force. Ling Xiao's eyes were extremely sharp. There was no fear in them. Instead, there was a trace of fanaticism that made his blood boil. Although Ling Xiao knew that he was definitely no match for a half-saint, he wanted to fight a half-saint. This was an opportunity to test the gap between him and a half-saint. Anyway, Ling Xiao had gained a lot in the Void Saint world this time. Moreover, the golden token was almost used up. He would have to leave the Void Saint world in a few days. Even if he left now, he would have no regrets. Xiao, when I fight with him later, you should leave by yourself. If fate allows it, we will meet again in the future. Ling Xiao put Long Xiao down and whispered to her through voice transmission. I won't. Big brother, I can deal with this bad guy. Let Xiao do it. Xiao will definitely beat him up until his parents can't recognize him. Long Xiao said stubbornly. She even raised her small fist to show off her strength. Xiao, be obedient. Ling Xiao said with a chuckle. Long Xiao might have extraordinary talent and potential, but she was still too young. Although she was at the complete Divine King realm, her real combat strength was probably not strong. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been chased by the Black Python. Ling Xiao thought that she was just throwing a tantrum. He put her down on a mountain peak and turned to look at Chen Yu. If you want to fight, let's fight. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a divine light, and his blood and qi surged to the skies. A golden rainbow flashed under his feet, and he instantly soared into the sky, throwing a punch at Chen Yu. Inside Ling Xiao's body, a mysterious chaotic world seemed to have exploded. A vast dragon's roar shook the sky, and an immortal and invincible aura filled the air. The divine dragon body and the indestructible war body merged into one in front of the vast chaotic energy, erupting with a force that could destroy the world. Crack! The void suddenly trembled and rippled. The chaotic fist seal was like a dazzling sun, enveloping the heaven and earth. Chen Yu's eyes flashed, and dazzling lightning bloomed in his palm. Lightning struck the 9 heavens, and death overflowed into the heavens, heading towards Ling Xiao. Boom! After the two of them clashed head-on, a muffled sound of thunder rang out in the air. Dazzling lightning exploded, and Ling Xiao and Chen Yu were both sent flying. The streaks of lightning spread into Ling Xiao's body, trying to destroy his meridians and life force. They were also spreading towards his life source. However, Ling Xiao's body was like a furnace, and the heaven-devouring divine sea was surging. Waves crashed, and the lightning was swallowed in an instant. Even if it contained the lightning Dao's origin energy, it couldn't resist the devouring power of the heaven-devouring secret technique, and it was all refined. Ling Xiao's blood and qi surged, and his eyes became even more dazzling. Chen Yu's eyes revealed a trace of seriousness, and huge waves surged in his heart. He couldn't believe that Ling Zhao's physical strength was so terrifying, and it wasn't any weaker than his. It should be known that the 9 transformations of the half-saint realm meant 9 nirvanas. After experiencing nirvanas once, Chen Yu's physical body had been reconstructed to an unimaginably powerful level. His physical body alone was enough to sweep away the Divine King realm experts. Although Ling Zhao's physical body was strong, it wasn't taken seriously by Chen Yu. He didn't expect that he would immediately feel the terror of Ling Zhao's physical body. It had almost broken the limit of the divine Tao, and reached an unimaginable level. Ha ha ha. Come again. Ling Zhao's eyes were filled with fighting spirit, and the heaven-devouring secret technique exploded. His entire body shot towards Chen Yu like a golden lightning, and his leg flew towards Chen Yu's face. Chen Yu's eyes turned cold. No one had ever dared to look down on him like this, let alone an early Divine King realm brat. He was courting death. He didn't dodge, and instead, he moved sideways, dodging Ling Zhao's kick. Then, he raised his shoulder, and terrifying lightning exploded from his shoulder, as if it could lift the sun, the moon, and the starry sky. Then, he decisively threw a punch towards Ling Zhao. Whoosh! Ling Zhao's body flashed with golden light, and he borrowed the strength of Chen Yu's explosion to leap up, dodging Chen Yu's punch. Then, he slashed his palm towards Chen Yu's arm. The blazing blade light seemed to have turned into a heavenly river, cutting heaven and earth in half. It was incomparably sharp. Chen Yu's arm bent at an unbelievable angle, and his elbow strike contained a faint aura of the divine Tao, as if it was going to smash Ling Zhao's arm into dust. Boom! Sparks flew in all directions, and Ling Zhao seemed to have hit a hard metal rock, and an incomparably blazing light exploded. Chen Yu's eyes were cold, and his entire body shot backwards. Then, he kicked out in the air, and it turned into a terrifying shadow of a whip. It was extremely fast, and it kicked towards Ling Zhao's chest. The power of this kick was incomparably terrifying, and even a huge mountain would be crushed by it. Bang! Ling Zhao didn't dodge, and he simply threw a punch. An expanse of resplendent light exploded. Both of their bodies shook, and then they were sent flying backwards. Long Outyen can actually fight senior brother Chen Yu, this. How is this possible? The 2 white-robed young men's eyes were filled with disbelief. The battle between Ling Zhao and Chen Yu was too intense. Every punch and kick contained immense power, and it was as if they were going to destroy the heavens and destroy the divine mountain. The 2 of them were incomparably shocked. It's just a contest of physical strength. Long Outyen's physical body is already very strong, but when senior brother Chen Yu uses his true divine Tao, he will definitely lose. Yuan Fei's eyes flashed as he spoke slowly. He could see that Chen Yu was indeed fighting Ling Zhao with his physical body, but even so, it was enough to shock everyone. Although senior brother Chen Yu had just broken through to the first transformation half-saint and was promoted to a true disciple of the heavenly curse sect, his true combat strength was far beyond that of a divine king. Chapter 1534. Long Outyen, your physical body is indeed very strong. You are qualified to see my true strength. No matter how strong your physical body is, it's nothing in front of the true saint path. Chen Yu's eyes were cold and there seemed to be terrifying lightning in them. His voice rumbled in the void and formed a mysterious resonance with heaven and earth. It was like a brilliant heavenly power that made people's hearts tremble. When the physical body is strong to the extreme, it can also become a saint. The 3,000 saint paths all lead to the same destination. There's no difference in strength. You're just a first revolution half-saint. How dare you talk about the saint path? Ling Zhao smiled faintly and his eyes were incomparably calm. Becoming a saint with the physical body? What a fool's dream. There are billions of geniuses in the immortal world. Who dares to say that they can become a saint with the physical body? You're courting death. Let me teach you a lesson today. Chen Yu said coldly with a trace of blazing killing intent in his eyes. Boom! Dazzling lightning exploded from his body. Runes rose from his palm, intertwining with terrifying lightning. They contained an incomparably vast power of destruction. Lightning. An ancient syllable rang out from Qin Yu's mouth. In an instant, the sky shook violently. Billions of lightning bolts descended from the sky and suppressed Ling Xiao. The entire world turned into a world of lightning and thunder. Rays of destructive light intertwined and fell from all directions towards Ling Xiao. There was no room for him to dodge at all. He could only take it head-on. This is the sacred lightning curse. Senior brother Qin Yu's unique lightning technique. I didn't expect Long Outyen to be able to force senior brother Qin Yu to use the sacred lightning curse. Once the sacred lightning curse is used, Long Outyen will definitely lose. The two white-robed young men exclaimed in surprise. The sacred lightning curse was one of the most powerful cursing techniques in the heavenly curse sect. It used the supreme curse technique to trigger thousands of lightning bolts in the world. Its attack was unparalleled and could destroy the world. The lightning bolts contained an incomparably terrifying power. It made the two white-robed young men tremble, let alone Ling Xiao who was in the middle. Boom! Ling Xiao's body was surrounded by a golden glow. His blood energy rose. His fist was like a dragon and exploded the lightning bolts. However, the lightning bolts seemed to have a life of their own. They surged into Ling Xiao's body and released an incomparably terrifying destructive power. Puff! Ling Xiao's body was sent flying. Streaks of blood covered his body as he spat out a mouthful of blood. His physical body seemed to be on the verge of shattering under the bombardment of the lightning. The lightning that filled the sky enveloped Ling Xiao, and a cold murderous aura filled the air, as if it wanted to kill Ling Xiao completely. Heaven and earth turned into a vast expanse of whiteness. Ling Xiao's figure was drowned out, and even his aura became indistinct. Long Outyen should be dead now that the holy curse of 10,000 lightning is out. Yuan Fei's gaze was incomparably deep as he slowly spoke. Although dying in the illusionary saint world was not a true death, it was still a lesson for Ling Xiao and lessened the hatred and obsession in Yuan Fei's heart. Big baddie, you killed Big Brother, I'm going to kill you. Long Xiao didn't leave. Instead, she watched the battle from the side. When she saw how terrifying the lightning was and how it completely devoured Ling Xiao, she immediately revealed an incomparably anxious expression. Whoosh! A 9-colored divine rainbow flashed under Long Xiaoxiao's feet, and she pounced toward Qin Yu through the air, smashing her pink little fist toward him. Roar! An ancient dragon's roar could be heard. Long Xiaoxiao's body was surrounded by the power of wind and lightning. That fist print looked rather imposing as it charged toward Qin Yu like a divine dragon. Someone from the dragon clan. Qin Yu's eyes flashed with a trace of surprise. He could feel that the little girl in front of him was actually an expert from the dragon clan. Moreover, her cultivation didn't seem weak. However, why would someone from the dragon clan appear here? This little girl is so young, but her cultivation is so strong. It seems like her position in the dragon clan is very high. If I can capture her, I might be able to interrogate her about the dragon clan's remarkable martial arts. Thinking of this, Qin Yu's heart palpitated with excitement. Whoosh! Qin Yu stretched out his hand and grabbed toward Long Xiaoxiao. In Qin Yu's opinion, although Long Xiaoxiao's cultivation wasn't weak, she was still too young and lacked combat experience. It should be very easy to capture her alive. Just as Qin Yu was about to grab Long Xiaoxiao, a trace of cunning suddenly appeared in Long Xiaoxiao's eyes. Bright light burst out from her body, and incomparably mysterious ripples rippled out, exuding a vast Saint Dao aura. It directly bounced Qin Yu's hand away. On Long Xiaoxiao's pink little fist, a dazzling 9-colored glove appeared. It directly pierced through the Saint Dao barrier around Qin Yu and blasted on his face. Bang! Qin Yu's body trembled, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. He was completely unprepared and was directly blasted away by Long Xiaoxiao. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and half of his face swelled up. A flawless defensive holy artifact. Chen Yu's face was very ugly, and his eyes became incomparably blazing. He didn't expect that Long Xiaoxiao would be wearing a powerful defensive holy artifact. A defensive holy artifact was more precious than an offensive holy artifact. It seemed that his guess was right. This little girl's status in the dragon clan was not small. Scoundrel, I'll kill you. Long Xiaoxiao's blood rose, and dragon roars sounded. She was angry and looked very cute. 9-colored light flowed on her pink little fist, and she directly blasted toward Chen Yu again. Long Xiaoxiao's little dress changed at this moment, and it turned into a small armor. 9-colored light flowed on it, and 9 divine dragons surrounded her body. It looked very mysterious and flowed with a vast Saint Dao aura. Junior brother Yuan, let me borrow the Earth Curse Cauldron. Yuan Fei didn't dare to be careless. He waved at Yuan Fei, and suddenly the Earth Curse Cauldron shone brightly. It flowed with a mysterious yellow aura and pressed toward Longshao Town. Chirp! At this moment, a hairpin in Long Xiaoxiao's hair lit up. There were bright flames flowing on it, and a mysterious fire phoenix soared into the sky. It looked lifelike. It suddenly collided with the Earth Curse Cauldron, and a blazing divine light storm burst out. What? Another flawless holy artifact. Chen Yu was stunned for a moment. He found that the hairpin on Long Xiaoxiao's head was also a flawless holy artifact, and its power was unparalleled. It was faintly related to the Phoenix clan. It was not weaker than the Earth Curse Cauldron at all. But what made Chen Yu collapse even more was still below. Long Xiaoxiao's palm was shining brilliantly, and an exquisite short sword exuding 9-colored light appeared. Its sharpness was unparalleled, and the sword light seemed to be able to cut the sky. Under Long Xiaoxiao's feet, a pair of small boots also exuded an incomparably majestic Saint Dao aura. Chapter 1535. Chen Yu was about to collapse. This was too much of a bully. For flawless holy treasures had actually appeared on the body of this delicate little girl. Chen Yu even suspected that Long Xiaoxiao might have other holy treasures on her. Buzz! The phoenix hairpin was ancient and mysterious. It turned into a mysterious fire phoenix and fought against the Earth Curse Cauldron, erupting with blazing light. Long Xiaoxiao snorted and slashed the 9-colored short sword in her hand across the sky. The dazzling sword light illuminated the sky and slashed the Earth Curse Cauldron, sending it flying. Whoosh! The holy path aura flowed on the pair of exquisite boots, making Long Xiaoxiao's aura become incomparably ethereal. The next moment, she disappeared in the void, teleported tens of thousands of feet, and stabbed the sword towards Chen Yu's forehead. Damn it! Chen Yu's face turned ugly. At this moment, he no longer had any thoughts of capturing Long Xiaoxiao alive. In the face of this sword, he was a little flustered. Dazzling lightning gushed out of his palm and turned into a huge lightning shield. Then, he retreated rapidly. Although Chen Yu's cultivation had reached the level of a first revolution half-saint, he was still incomparably fearful in the face of a flawless holy treasure. Moreover, Long Xiaoxiao had 4 flawless holy treasures in her hands. At this moment, Long Xiaoxiao was like a hedgehog. Chen Yu's palm strike might not necessarily injure Long Xiaoxiao, but he himself would be pierced and dripping with blood. Chen Yu was incomparably sullen and gloomy. However, in the face of Long Xiaoxiao, he could only keep retreating and dodging. He didn't dare to take Long Xiaoxiao's attacks head-on. What's the origin of this little girl? For flawless holy treasures, this is too much of a bully, isn't it? A white-robed youth opened his eyes wide and his mouth wide. His eyes were full of disbelief. Junior brother Yuan, the situation doesn't look good. Should we go? Another white-robed youth was very vigilant. He looked at Yuan Fei and whispered. Yuan Fei's eyes flashed. He saw a figure floating in the dazzling lightning in the void, emitting a strange light. He couldn't help but be slightly shocked. Something's wrong, let's go. If we stay here, we will only be a burden to senior brother Chen Yu. Without even sparing Qin Yu another glance, Yuan Fei turned around and shot off into the distance. The two white-robed young men looked at each other. In the end, they believed Yuan Fei's words and chased after him. Rumble. Not long after Yuan Fei left, the resplendent lightning in the void suddenly exploded. The endless lightning was like a whale swallowing the sea, being devoured by one of the figures. It was a figure covered in scars. It looked charred, but soon, the charred surface fell off, revealing sparkling and translucent skin. A young man in high spirits walked out of the lightning. His black hair danced in the wind, his eyes were resplendent, and his magnificence was unmatched. It was Ling Xiao. Chen Yu's sacred curse of 10,000 thunders was indeed extremely powerful. Those thunderbolts contained the origin of thunder and could destroy all life. Even Ling Xiao found it difficult to refine them with the sky-devouring secret skill. However, his physical body was extremely strong. Moreover, there was a surge of chaotic energy in his body. After being tempered by the lightning, his physical body had become even stronger. Xiao Xiao, this is too fierce. Ling Xiao's gaze fell on Chen Yu and Long Xiao Xiao in the distance, and he was instantly astonished. When Ling Xiao first met Long Xiao Xiao, she was chased around by a black python. He didn't expect her to use 4 flawless holy treasures to chase a half-step saint expert into such a sorry state. Ling Xiao guessed that Long Xiao Xiao probably couldn't use the 4 holy treasures at that time. It was only after being tempered by the origin dragon blood pool in the immortal dragon lake that she was able to use the power of the 4 holy treasures. Long Outyan. You're not dead. Big brother. Chen Yu and Long Xiao Xiao also noticed Ling Xiao at the same time. Their faces revealed different expressions. Chen Yu's face was extremely ugly with a trace of disbelief. He didn't expect that the sacred curse of 10,000 thunders couldn't kill Ling Xiao. Moreover, Ling Xiao seemed to be alive and kicking. There wasn't even a single injury on his body. Long Xiao Xiao was pleasantly surprised. She had attacked in anger because she thought Ling Xiao had been killed by Chen Yu. Now that she saw that Ling Xiao was still alive, she immediately gave up on chasing Chen Yu and happily pounced on Ling Xiao. Xiao Xiao, you're amazing. Ling Xiao smiled and hugged Long Xiao Xiao in his arms. Big brother, I knew you weren't dead. This big bad guy is too weak. He only knows how to run. Do you want me to kill him to vent your anger? Long Xiao Xiao said happily. It's not good for a girl to fight and kill. But this guy really deserves to die. Ling Xiao said with a smile. The corner of Chen Yu's eyes twitched when he heard this, and his face became even uglier. Long Outyan, don't be arrogant. Sooner or later, I'll kill you. Chen Yu already had the intention to retreat. If he continued to stay, not only would he not be able to escape, but he might also die in Ling Xiao's hands. Therefore, he left behind a ruthless sentence and wanted to leave. Did I say you could leave? Ling Xiao said indifferently with a trace of cold sharpness in his eyes. What? Do you still want me to stay? Chen Yu laughed in anger, and his eyes became even colder. There's only one sword technique. Please comment on it. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. In an instant, sword intent rose from his body, and a mysterious and ancient aura burst out. The black Kuan sword hummed and was instantly held in Ling Xiao's hand. It turned into a bright stream of light and shot towards Chen Yu's forehead. Rumble. Heaven and earth trembled, and the void in all directions seemed to become blurry. Ling Xiao's sword was so fast that Chen Yu didn't even have time to recall the earth curse cauldron. The black Kuan sword was already in front of him. What? Chen Yu's face changed drastically. Lightning blazed around his body, and bright runes appeared, forming a vast lightning shield. At the same time, a stream of light flashed under his feet, and he wanted to retreat. Freeze! Ling Xiao said softly. In an instant, the sky shook, and a mysterious force descended. Chen Yu's body seemed to be bound by some kind of force, and he couldn't help but freeze. Chen Yu felt that all the blood in his body had stopped, and his heart had stopped beating. Even his thoughts seemed to have stopped. His eyes still retained a look of horror and shock. That feeling was extremely terrifying. Chapter 1536. After an instant, the majestic Saint Path aura in Chen Yu's body broke free from the binding power, but his eyes unconsciously revealed a look of extreme fear. Rumble. A dazzling sword radiance bloomed in front of him. In that instant, he seemed to have seen the vicissitudes of time. Poof! A bloody light flashed and the Xian Kun sword pierced through Chen Yu's forehead, shattering his primordial spirit and killing him completely. A dark and cold feeling enveloped his entire body. Chen Yu looked at Ling Xiao in a daze, and before he could say anything, his eyes lost their luster. His entire person disappeared from the void god realm. An extremely strong sense of weakness emerged. Ling Xiao's body trembled and he almost fell from the sky. Big brother, what happened to you? Long Xiao was quick to react and flew over to support Ling Xiao. I'm fine. I just used some of my primordial spirit. Ling Xiao smiled. Although his face was pale, his eyes were extremely bright. Ling Xiao had combined the Book of Ages and the Great Wilderness sword art together. He had also used up a large amount of his life force to execute this move. The power of time was indeed terrifying. Even Chen Yu, a sage-to-be, was unable to resist it. However, it was not easy for Ling Xiao to execute this move. It had used up a large amount of his life force and drained all his divine power. However, it's just as I imagined. Executing a martial art that consumes one's life force in the void god world will not harm one's primordial spirit and will not affect one's body. What a strange law. Ling Xiao thought to himself. This was the move that had killed Chen Yu and also the move that he had used to test the waters. If Ling Xiao had executed the Book of Ages in the realm of the gods, the backlash from the power of time would have consumed at least tens of thousands of years of his lifespan. However, in the new body that he had created in the void god world, although he had used up a large amount of his life force, it did not affect his body. Moreover, the body in the void god world could be said to be disposable. Thus, Ling Xiao could use the Book of Ages without any worries. Next time, perhaps I can try the life reversing technique and see if it will affect me. Ling Xiao thought to himself. The Sutra of Time and the art of reversing fate were the two strongest and strangest martial arts he possessed. The Sutra of Time contained the power of time, but the art of reversing fate was incomparably strange. The fate-reversing technique was to reverse fate and directly attack one's fate. That strange power was untraceable. Although Ling Xiao had used it a few times, he only knew what it was and didn't know what it was. Furthermore, he suffered a huge backlash every time he used it. Xiao, our holy badges are about to run out of energy. We'll have to leave the Void Saint world soon. Is your true body also in the God realm? Ling Xiao asked Long Xiao. Yes. Big brother, I followed my father to the War God Temple as a guest and snuck into the Void Sacred World to play when I had nothing to do. I didn't expect to meet you here. Long Xiao said. War God Temple. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He didn't expect such a coincidence. Long Xiao's true body was actually in the War God Temple, and the father that Long Xiao mentioned made Ling Xiao's heart skip a beat. If he remembered correctly, the strongest person in the dragon tribe in the demon realm was the dragon god. Could Long Xiao be the dragon god's daughter? Looking at Long Xiao's flawless holy treasures, it might be possible. Big brother, you're a disciple of the Ares College. You should be entering the War God Temple soon, right? But it's a pity that we'll have to leave soon. Long Xiao suddenly thought of something and her eyes lit up. However, her voice soon became low. Xiao, don't worry. If there's a chance in the future, I'll make a trip to the demon realm. We'll meet again then. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Really? Long Xiao was a little happy. Of course it's true. Go back quickly. There's nothing to do in the Void Sacred World. Ling Xiao said with a smile as he patted Long Xiaoxiao's head. Oh right, big brother, there's one more thing. Come with me. If we're lucky, we might be able to obtain some holy badges. Long Xiaoxiao suddenly said. Oh. What's the matter? Ling Xiao was slightly stunned. Long Xiaoxiao actually mentioned holy badges. Ling Xiao was a little interested. The void sacred world contained countless secrets and opportunities. It was a pity that without holy badges, one could only enter after breaking through to the sage realm. Ling Xiao also wanted to obtain a large number of holy badges. However, holy badges were too precious. In order to obtain holy badges in the void sacred world, one could only snatch from others. I know of a sacred spirit valley that constantly spews out holy badges. How about we go to that sacred spirit valley to collect some holy badges? In the future, even if I return to the demon realm, I can use the holy badges to meet Big Brother in the void sacred world. Long Xiaoxiao said with some eagerness. Sacred Spirit Valley. Xiaoxiao, I'm afraid that the Sacred Spirit Valley is controlled by those sacred grounds. Furthermore, there are sages overseeing it. They specialize in collecting holy badges. We won't be able to snatch them from the sages. Ling Xiao said with a bitter smile. He naturally knew the origin of the holy badges. They were all spewed out from the Sacred Spirit Valley in the void sacred world. Legend had it that the Sacred Spirit Valley was connected to the origin of the void sacred world. Therefore, it constantly spewed out holy badges. Obtaining those holy badges would allow one to enter the void sacred world. Hee, big brother, don't worry. The Sacred Spirit Valley that I mentioned is very secretive. Very few people know about it. There are no sages at all. Looking at the time, the Sacred Spirit Valley should be opening soon. We can still make it if we go now. Long Xiaoxiao wrinkled her nose and said proudly. If there really is such a Sacred Spirit Valley, then it is indeed a land of treasures. Alright, Xiaoxiao, you lead the way. There's no time to lose. Let's go now. Ling Xiao was also tempted. The holy badges were extremely valuable in the god realm. Almost all of them were controlled by the sacred grounds. It was very difficult for ordinary people to obtain them. They could be exchanged for large amounts of resources. Moreover, with the holy badges, Ling Xiao could enter the void sacred world to cultivate continuously. Whoosh! Whoosh! Ling Xiao and Long Xiaoxiao turned into two streams of light and shot into the distance. Heavenly Curse Sect. In a secret room, Chen Yu slowly opened his eyes. Long Outyen, is this your true strength? A mere heavenly god can kill a half-sage with a single sword strike. I'm afraid no one will believe it. You have to die. If you don't die, you will become a huge threat to the Heavenly Curse Sect sooner or later. Chen Yu muttered to himself. His eyes revealed a trace of cold murderous intent. I have to inform Senior Brother Lu Yun about this. I have to let Senior Brother Lu Yun get rid of this guy in the void sacred world. It's best if I can destroy his Taoist heart. Chen Yu said slowly. Then, he walked out of the secret room and headed towards the palace where Senior Brother Lu Yun was.